American Simulation Racing Association featuring online leagues like the DSR Electric, Blanchard towing and recovering Xfinity, concerns of police survivors. Jacob and Wesley bringing you all the commentating. Is there beef? Is there beef? This racing is so exciting. They rock the Nashville network. That Biggles cracking them up in the background. It is racing at Atlanta. It is racing at Talladega. Never turn right. Ooh, go baby, go. Don't you curse tonight. As a Brady, the boss man is lessening. Oh dear, let's go racing. Cody not with all the graphics. Jeff Merck pulling all the facial reactions. Jordan is spoken like DD Folio AC and a white crane. And we're gonna have fun right now in this moment. Let's race, let's race. Let's green light and go. Let's enjoy the race. Like and subscribe. So to see the unicorn that Murph and magically make. Don't you believe in unicorns? Do we want Barney? Barney, it's time to wave the flag. Green flag, go black,
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the DSR Electric Truck Series here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network for the DSR Electric 250 here at the Daytona International Speedway. Should be a fun one tonight. Race 1 of the playoffs. You can see the weather there on your screen around this 2.5 mile behemoth of a super speedway down in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm Morgan Cook. We got Wesley Outland here going to join us shortly, and of course produced by the one, the only, the Australian, Dean Hopton. Now, I mentioned we are in the playoffs. A little bit different here in this series. Here's how it is going to look. The drivers have been broken into 6 groups of 4. This is race number 1 of a 3-race round. At the end of this round, we're going to drop the bottom driver in each. Hey, Wesley just showed up. Fantastic. The bottom driver in each round, they are going to disappear. Then we're going to have 3 left in each of the 6 groups. Then we're going to race another 3 rounds, or another 3 races, and figure out who the top 2 are. Then the top 1, then your championship 6, eventually to figure out who the champion is going to be of the DSR Electric Truck Series for this season. Clear, right, Dean? Fantastic. All right, Wes is here.
I am. Good evening.
Fantastic.
Playoffs, round 1, Daytona, bracket challenge. Gotta love it. What's up, Morgan?
Summed it up in about 7 words. I love that. Glad to have you, Wes.
Doing well, man. And we're ready to go here in Daytona. Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the DSR Electric 250. 100 laps around the World Center of Racing. And the playoffs opening round for Season 5. Lucas Lyons, remember, he won Daytona when the season started. He's on the pole again. Cole Larson on the front row. Jonathan Cofield, Stephen Page, row 2. Tyler Goodwin, Roger Diebold, winner a few weeks ago on row number 3. Cody Knott, Adam Newton on row 4. Joshua Suss, Brady LaBeouf, season 2 champion, row number 5. And you got Bo Tiffany and Taylor Peacock, the first 6 rows in Daytona there, Morgan.
Justin Lumpkin is going to start 13th. James Kaufman in 14th position. Joey Stiers 15th. Craig Schroeder in the 16th spot. Tom Lester and Stephen Thomas make up row 9. Cole Herrickson and Andrew Harris make up row number 10. Phil Pappas and Nathan Maurer make up the 21st and 22nd positions here this evening. Chad Ross, Luke Smith, 23rd and 24th. Back to Wes.
There you go. Rest of the lineup, of course, we'll find from there. We'll move on from Luke Smith, 24th starter. Then it's going to be Colton Hogan, Matt Cherry, Robert Richards, Chris Cinnamon, the Spice Man, a former season champion. Owen Schrag, that's a new name. J.D. Larson, top 30. Row 16, I'll find Brian Shue, Gary Tribune, Lee Bailey, Jeffrey Johnson, Stephen Gregory, and Keith Haney, row number 18.
37th will be Dan Hagen. 38th will be Raul Meza, and that is your field here this evening. Of course, race control, making sure that we stay nice and clean here on the racetrack. But as you probably noticed, Jake, the Redneck Announcer Reeves, not here this evening. I'm going to fill in for him and try and live up to half of the talent that man has. So bear with me, Wes. We're going to do our best here.
Oh, man, we'll have fun. There's a bracket. There you see it. Everybody amongst themselves are racing within their bracket. So there you see how it all shakes out.
A definition of race within the race.
That's right. You remember there is minus a championship playoff round as well. So this basically is the first round. Then we go to the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and then the championship 6. That'll be decided. So to kind of help you out, basically there is a bracket challenge, Morgan, amongst the race itself. So you're racing amongst all of your competitors. However, you're racing within your seating, meaning that basically you have Hendrickson and LaBeouf and Lumpkin battling. Okay, so it's Hendrickson, LaBeouf, and then Lumpkin and Lester. And I'm guessing because Lester's in red, he automatically is eliminated. So that means automatically that Lumpkin will move on to the next row. We'll move on to the next round, and then it'll be interesting to see what happens between the other drivers. But basically, it is a bracket. You're racing against somebody within your bracket on your point standings, and then basically you want to accumulate as much points as you can over your people in your bracket you're racing against. So hopefully that kind of sums it up a little bit.
Yeah, we will find out at the end of the show here. It's going to be a fun one with Wes on the backstretch coming around turn 1 to the entrance to turn 3, and then me from the turn 3 to the flag. Should be a fun race here tonight as we have the drivers rolling out of turn 4 right now. Pace truck got them all in tow. Pace lights are out. Stage 1 at lap number 20. Stage 2 at lap number, I believe that says 50. Total laps 100.
Yeah, 60. Lap 60.
In this race here. All right.
Strap in.
Let's get ready for it, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
green
playoffs
flag
are
is
here.
out. Let's get it.
We're underway in Daytona.
Here we are side by side, rolling through the trial for the first time here this evening. Great push on the bottom. A couple teammates, Lyons and Cofield getting after it. Cole Larson going to edge ahead just slightly here as we roll over to Wes.
So they'll work their way into the corner. It's going to be Lyons down on the inside. Larson will follow right there, side by side. Now the key is obviously, there's a look at the weather conditions, by the way, on the bottom right of the monitor. As they work now down that back straightaway. Larson up high. Lyons, remember, as I mentioned, he won race number 1 of the regular season. So here we go. They got to get about a lap or 2, Morgan, to get up to full song. They are doing just that, and it will be 1 lap down, 99 to go. Lucas Lyons, Cole Larson, side by side beside them. They're door to door, up the bank and into turn number 1.
They're pretty orderly so far in this race, 2 by 2 throughout the entire field. Haven't seen anyone step out 3 wide yet. No one has even left their respective lines to get a little air at this point in time. Oh, there's a driver down to the bottom of the racetrack right away. I believe that is Cody Knott, if I'm not mistaken. Hopping out of line, they're going to leave the inside line a little bit at a disadvantage as that blue Mountain Dew machine rolls the high side, gets that good run. But Lyons going to fight back on the bottom with help of Cofield. Coming out of turn 4. Who's going to lead lap number 2? Lyons up to the top side. Going to block that run. Now the two teammates control the lanes. Smart move this early in the race. You want to lead every lap you can. It's going to help your points in that bracket challenge.
On board with Lucas Lyons, you see from the back end, looking methodically high and low, trying to pull out of line. That's Larson. Larson hooking up there with Lyons. Cofield now down to the inside. They're going to be side by side as they work their way to the back stretch. Everybody holding that position now. Staying in the corner, into 3. That's 31 degrees of banking up the straightaways. Coming off of those sharp corners. Here they come to the line. Working the tri-oval. You're on board with Joshua Suss, the Great Bend, Kansas driver, down below. He is right there in that third truck inside. And they work their way now, side by side, back up the banking, already 3 laps in Daytona.
I'd be a little bit worried if I was the 53 running that lead spot. Hanging out a little bit too far to the right, in my opinion. Wait, a little bit too high off the nose of the 21 misjudgment, and that truck goes around in front of the field, and it's day over for Lucas Lyons. But that's the only thing I've seen so far at the front of this track, is we're forcing 3 wide middle of the field here. 87 just made a big move. Andrew Harris put the 56 in the sucker hole a little bit further back here, about 5 rows deep in the field. There you can see it on your screen. One driver stuck in the middle, going backwards ever so slightly, but we're still 2 by 2 up at the front. No one has decidedly taken the lead of this race yet, although Lyons, I believe, has led every lap so far.
Cofield thought about poking out a line, thought about better of it, stays back in tow. Got 2 lanes forming. Back about midway through, you go 3 wide as they hit the super stretch here in Daytona. And Larson bottom. Cofield up high. Here comes Cofield with a push by Lyons, by Page, by Diebold. Outside lane, getting a big push of momentum as they work into turn number 3. Cofield now going to jump up to the P1 spot. As you see the birds flying by, working through the tri-oval down to the start-finish line. Working lap number 5 of 20 in the first stage. And it is Cofield from Alabama now leading the way, heading back to 1.
And that is a math equation gone wrong for the number 20 machine. He had the lead for just a second, but the 2 teammates worked against that 1 driver of Cole Larson, and he was not able to keep that lead for much longer. Now we have 1 lap led for Cofield, a handful for Lyons as they continue to lead the field. Cofield on the top, Lyons on the bottom. The 2 teammates playing very well together, making sure they help each other out, move through these playoffs. 47, Stephen Page is going to try and take a page out of the playbook, if you will, and get ahead of these 2 guys, control this race, and move on in his own bracket challenge.
My thing is this, obviously, Morgan. It's a long race. Remember, it's 100 laps. And we've still got another couple of stages remaining. This stage is probably the shortest distance of them all, 20 laps. Don't do anything crazy in the start. And I got to give props to these guys. They're doing just that. I mean, they're coming off of, 93 laps at Bristol last Monday night before we had our first caution of the race. That was impressive. And now we want to try to follow that same thing. There's the race analysis down below. Again, 100 laps, stage 1, 20 laps, stage 2, 60 laps, or to lap number 60. And then, of course, the final stage will be 40 laps as well. So it's 100 laps the race in total. So you got a 20-lap stage and then 2 40-lap stages, if you will. Overtime is unlimited. As you see right there, the race recap, and they're back in 1 there, Morgan.
Absolutely, and I want to expand on what you said there about don't do anything crazy to wreck your race. Also, don't show your hand yet, right? Like I like that the 2 teammates are up at the front controlling the race, but you don't use all your moves in the first stage because someone's going to notice that, and they're going to figure out a way to counter it later in the race. I think back to a Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch race at Talladega where Keselowski drove off the nose of Kyle Busch in the 2-car tandem era, and Kyle Busch didn't expect it. And, you show that move late. You don't show it right now so somebody can figure out how to beat you later. bottom
Larson
side.
in that second spot now, making a move on Cofield. Cofield can't decide whether he wants to go high or low. And that Cofield Asphalt Refinishing Chevrolet, he'll now stay for Highline Racing to the bottom of the double yellow line. Working right there is Larson on board with the 20 from Oregon, Illinois. And right now, those are your top two. As now Lyons up on the outside, there he is, peeking up in the 53. And remember, as I mentioned, Morgan, he won the race here at Daytona when the season started. So right now, just methodically right there at the
three
hunt.
wide behind him here. Holy
Yes,
cow. What a move to the middle.
Diebold in the middle.
Put Page on the outside, put him in a bad spot. That was just about our first caution of the day, but they kept it all straight. Little door banging down the center of the racetrack. Coming out of turn number 4. The 47 continues to fall back on the high side. He's 5-6 rows back now. The inside, for the first time today, has a 2-truck advantage. Now off the backstretch. Still 3 wide seat on your screen right there. 47 was running second. Now finds himself well back in the field. Is able to get in behind the 87, but he probably lost about 10 rows worth of track position there. Some stage points gone as well in this situation. So he's going to have to really work hard to get back up there. It's going to be tough to do it in 10 laps because, of course, when you're side by side here at Daytona, there isn't a lot of place to go other than maybe that third groove, but that's a risk all in itself.
And they're back off out of the corner. By the way, midway point of stage 1, 10 in, 10 to go. Stage points on the line as well as in the playoffs. Larson with Cofield, and that's, of course, the Lions truck. Cofield watching on back to third. He's got Goodwin behind him, so is Suss. All this happening now on the inside lane, the outside lane with now Lyons, Diebold, Adam Newton, the Bulldog. You're on board with him now behind the tailgate of Diebold, the winner a couple of weeks ago in Pocono. And we got a caution on the racetrack, trouble on the Speedway. First Surf Pro caution of the night. And we got some trucks with a problem. Raw Meza, Keith Haney.
Jeffrey Johnson
Raw Meza, Keith Haney, Jeffrey Johnson all involved. And we got a caution here on lap number 11 of 20 in the first stage tonight.
All right, let's go back and see what happened here. Bring out our first yellow of the day. Looks like it's the last row here. Close to it anyway. Looks like we're about 3 wide. Oh, big checkup in the middle. You see it there. And
Craig Schroeder around. Wow. Cinnamon, nowhere to go. Meza collected in this.
I don't think the 37 got too bad of damage here unless he came back up across the racetrack. And it looks like he got out of that pretty good. Jeffrey Johnson got a pretty big piece of it. I see Craig Schroeder's got a meatball flag. So does Keith Haney. A couple big licks for those drivers. But it looked like there's just a big checkup on the high side for whatever reason. And the 87 maybe just didn't realize it. They were kind of an offset 4 wide. And then all of a sudden there's 5-6 trucks involved as it happens so quickly here at Daytona. Oh,
somebody got into Craig Schroeder. So if you go back to the 56 of Craig Schroeder, you'll have a better idea of where it all started. That's the driver of that 56 truck. He right now sits 36th. And I believe it was Haney. Right up the middle. There he goes, right there. And Cinnamon, nowhere to go. I mean, he's boxed in right there, Morgan. He can't go nowhere. Chris Cinnamon, Season 3 champion collected. Look at this. Wow.
Yeah, big hit for the 87. That's just a case of checkup happens, and like I mentioned like seconds ago, you can't go anywhere here at Daytona unless you try the third lane, and if you try the third lane, you really have nowhere to go. If an accident happens because there's cars beneath you, there's a wall above you, you're kind of stuck. You just have to hope for the best and get through it.
Another look at it again. As you see debris from the new damage model. There's another look at it in slow motion on board with Keith Haney in Sparks up against the safer barrier. You're on board with him now. Here it is. There's the contact right there in the Keystone light there of Schroeder, and then nowhere to go for these other guys. And, man, they just walloped the wall, man. He pancaked the passenger side of the 56, and then other trucks just easily collected in that.
Not sure if the motor is left on that 87 either. He hit the nose a ton. in that truck. He's sitting on pit road at the moment, currently running in the 38th position with the meatball flag. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get that truck back out on the racetrack. Keith Haney is. But we are back here on the backstretch. Pit stops have been completed. Cole Larson is your leader. Lucas Lyons running P2. Jonathan Cofield, his teammate, in third. Diebold in fourth. And Goodwin running P5.
Yeah, caution out here. First one of the night. That'll let us step away and take a break as well. Larson in the lead. Still a long way to go, though, here in the playoffs in the first round in Daytona. Stay with us.
For Murph's Magical Creations, home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Back here at Daytona, the playoffs rolling on here. Race recap so far in the first stage. One caution. We're on lap number 13 of 20. And the lights are off for the pace truck. Morgan, we're getting ready to try to re-rack them, restack them here. Larson, Lyons on the front row, and we'll get ready to go back to green.
Absolutely, and a little more tame than I was expecting out of the trucks here at Daytona. That usually sparks fear into the minds of drivers, trucks at Daytona, but it's been a relatively tame first 14 laps to bring up the bracket challenge again here for the playoffs.
They got a little more better of an understanding about that as well, too, Jeremy. I'm sorry. Talking about it, Morgan, we have better an understanding of how we want to kind of unveil what the bracket will be for the first round, basically.
Yeah, so each of these 6 groups, those 4 drivers are fighting amongst themselves to try and be in the top 3 of their group. If they do so after 3 races, they move on to the next round. That one driver who is in red at the end of the 3 rounds will be eliminated, no longer can fight for a championship. As the pace truck rolls off here, we're about to go green for our second restart of the day. Truck's in the restart zone. Barney's going to wave that flag, and we are rolling here at Daytona. Stacked from the back.
You know, Morgan, what this kind of reminds me of as we come back to green, it reminds me, honestly, of like group qualifying at your local Friday or Saturday night racetrack. And what I mean by that is like when I announced for Dirt Car or Fast Track or the Ultimate Series, we had something called group qualifying. Means that you hot lap within your group, you qualify within your group, you heat race within your group before you make it to the feature. Now, as they work the back straightaway at Larson in front, the way that I look at that bracket now, Morgan, is like you're basically having to deal with those same drivers all the way to the final. Your goal is to beat those 4 drivers, then 3, then 2, to make yourself advance to the championship 6. Now, even though you're running a race within a race, you want to beat the guy that you're racing on your bracket.
Exactly right. There are essentially six races within this one race. Of course, everyone wants to win it. Of course, that's what everyone's going for. But the primary goal has to be beat those other 3 in your group and be able to move on to the next round, because that is what's important. The race win is nice, and the race win gets you an automatic bid to the next round. So it is very nice, but you got to be smart. You can't put yourself in bad spots, because a bad race at Daytona could send you packing here in 2 weeks' time.
That's exactly right. Now you kind of got an idea of what it is that we're kind of.
Oh, we're wrecking! Lucas Lyons around. In front of the field, the whole field's wrecking. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my
Everyone's
goodness.
in it.
Wow.
We just talked about not making mistakes, and we got at least 15 cars on this. Oh,
and
my
there's more
goodness.
than that. Look at them all scattering, driving through the grass as well. Sunlight beating down on them on the front straightaway, and a big litter of trucks. Lucas Lyons, Tyler Goodwin, Roger Diebold, Robert Richards, Joshua Suss, Tom Lester, Brian Chu, some of the names we even mentioned that are in the bracket, all involved in an accident here as we get ready for a Pulse Poppers instant replay. Morgan, I'd say watch Lucas Lyons because it kind of happened with him up in the front.
That's exactly right. It was the leader to the outside line, a little bit of a bad push from behind. We saw this truck get sideways right there.
Wow, that's Diebold.
Got off center and then
the Lions.
And then everybody behind him had to avoid it or was part of it. We see, a little net code there with the 3 machine. He got lucky there, actually. That could have been a lot worse for driver number 3, but we see people go through the grass. There's trucks littered everywhere. You're going to watch it from the back bumper, from the rear deck lid, if you will, of the 53 machine. Peak left, got him right, and into the outside wall. And look at this melee.
Wow. Unbelievable.
It's a cattle rush here. Again, had to be. I mean, if you want to count cars in the grass as well, that's probably something like 25 trucks involved in this incident. Like, there's only 38 in the race, and I think 25 were in that accident. That's Daytona at its finest right there.
From another angle, on board Adam Newton. This was the 14 of Diebold that got Lyons loose off the trioval. Watch this. Wow.
And then Newton up into the
Man, what a hit for Goodwin. Wow.
Almost flipped it over, did Newton. Little kick flip action there. Able to keep it on all 4 wheels. I don't think the damage is too bad on the 19. Maybe a little bit behind that left front tire.
From another angle, on board with Raul Meza in the back. This is what we were talking about. Everybody just littering every way to try to avoid this. Watch the 37.
Yeah, little dirt tracking. Look at this. Oh, he still got Newton. Oh, no. Oh, it was looking so good, and then it was looking so bad. That's
From
2
another
for 2.
angle, this is Luke Smith, winner last week, by the way, at Bristol. Here's Kermit. A 27 Toyota. What did he see? Same thing.
This one a little bit better.
Wow. Gradually on the grass. There you go.
Yeah, you just see trucks littered all over the place. I don't think I've ever seen a iRacing Daytona crash quite like that, where the majority of the field just elects to go straight for the grass and hope for the best. That's an interesting way to do it. Oh, tough break for Goodwin.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you right there. Man.
Clipped by inches on the rear. Unreal.
Look at this from the angle. This is what I was trying to show right here. If we could maybe get that camera angle right there and just stay with it from a freeze frame, you can see all these trucks littered. As a matter of fact, the opening camera angle that he had where the accident happened, it perfectly described it because there was just a litter of trucks. Just watch from this angle right here. Watch this. And look at from this angle. Look at everybody just diving. Look at all the way over to the entrance of pit road. Off the grass, there's Raul Meza. There's other trucks. There goes Taylor Peacock. That's the one all the way up, driving through the flags. I mean, that's how much of this entire infield and the grass, for that matter, turf, was used up, Morgan, to avoid the big one. And here's the deal. You don't want to have this happen to you right now. Not in the opening round of the playoffs.
No, you're just hoping you can escape this incident with minimal damage, keep the 4 tires rolling, no engine damage. That's all you're hoping for right now. And if you got anything less than that, then fantastic. You made it through. But if you're a driver like Lucas Lyons who got hefty damage, the 13 got turned into the fence. We saw Newton have big issues. Raul Meza had big issues. If you're one of those drivers and you're sitting there on the sidelines thinking, uh-oh, now I really have performed these next 2 weeks. And that's
Morgan,
trouble.
You know, Morgan, now that I think about it, I don't want to say that Diebold got into the 50. I don't want to say that Diebold didn't get into the 53 because he did. But I'm wondering if maybe Lyons overcorrected And when he did, that sent him into the fence. I mean, you know, maybe there might have just been a little shot from the 14 to the 53, but that little bump made Lyons overcorrect, fishtailing into the wall he went, now that I see it from a different camera angle.
It's tough to be the leader in these trucks when you're getting pushed. I've driven these quite a bit with a pusher behind me, and the noses aren't flat, right? They're a little bit of a curve to them, so if you get pushed off center and it kicks you one way or the other, you can't bring it back unless that guy bails off of you. And Diebold just simply didn't bail. Nor should he. Right. I'm not saying he should, but he didn't bail. And what that does is when Lucas got sideways and came back, it hooked off that corner and turned him into the fence. And I've seen it a bunch of times before. It's nothing new here, but you hate that it happened in the first stage here of the first round of the playoffs.
And how about this? You got one lap before the end of the stage. We're back to green.
Little shootout.
One lap. That's all they got for the end of the first stage here in Daytona. And right now, Cole Larson on the inside. There's Cofield. Got to wonder how many trucks have damaged. Went on the clock to get fixed. Larson right now over Cofield. Look at Brady LaBeouf on the inside. He's got Peacock. Remember I mentioned the driver all the way in the grass on the far right of the pit lane there? He's up to fourth now, Morgan, as they work in three.
Well, avoiding the accident, sometimes it's all you need to get track position, as we're going 3 wide behind him. Trying to make a late run to the line. There goes the 44 way to the high side. Cofield's moving and shaking up in the middle row here, but Larson has got the lead on the bottom. Said that all weekend, didn't we? It's going to be a drag race to the line. Here we go. Larson's going to get him. Larson will get him. And that should be the stage. Good stage win there for Cole Larson.
Cole Larson will win the first stage of the race. Caution out over the racetrack. Taylor Peacock will be scored with, well, actually, wait a minute. They're changing it. They're saying that Taylor Peacock won the stage.
That might just be because Peacock had passed him.
Oh, yeah, wow. Okay, all right. No, Larson got it. Larson got it. Oregon, Illinois driver Cole Larson, winner of the stage, followed by Cofield, Peacock, LaBeouf, Thomas, Lumpkin, Kaufman, Cherry, Stiers, and Owen Scrage are all going to get stage points. And I'm going to throw that up there on the screen real quickly. How important is that, Morgan, that you win the stage, especially if you're in your bracket like this? Look at that.
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly important. I mean, the driver that jumps out to me right away is already leading his bracket middle on the right side. That's Peacock. Going to gain some points there. He's 5 up. Now he's going to be many more up, finishing second in that stage. That's going to be a big help to him. I don't see Cole Larson on here anywhere, so he might not be eligible for the playoffs. Well,
I see Brady LaBeouf. Brady LaBeouf was second in the seed on the top. He beat out Hendrickson and Lumpkin and
Larson in the same side of the bracket as Peacock, actually. So they're trading blows. So that's definitely going to be helpful for driver number 20, as he's going to gain a little bit on the driver at the bottom.
You see Cofield at the bottom right of the bracket. He beat out Luke Smith and Suss, as well as Goodwin. So now Jonathan Cofield taking advantage of this. And obviously, I know it sounds confusing. It is something different. But, you know, with that being said, you know, I think that this will definitely make it interesting, because there's kind of a race for the championship within the championship, besides the regular playoff formats that, I don't want to say this in a disrespectful term, Morgan, but I think people got exhausted of. They wanted to do something differently.
I'd agree with you there, because it's difficult to keep yourself motivated, I would say, when you're, say, third in points. You can't quite catch the leader. You just got to put in solid days, but you're so far from being eliminated. You show up to the racetrack and say, well, I'm not really racing for much today. We're just racing to not lose it. And that's just not fun. It's not fun to race to not lose. You want to race to, you know, get something, win something, advance your position, whatever have you. So this bracket really does that. It condenses the field that you're fighting against, and it really makes it easy and tangible to say, I need to beat these 3 guys today over the course of these next few races, and we'll be moving on to the next round. I think that makes life a lot easier, a lot more fun for the drivers. It might be a little more confusing up here in the booth, but Dean's going to get us fixed up next week, make it a little bit easier even on the graphics to tell who's in which group, I'm putting you on the spot here, Dean. Sorry for that, but it's gonna be fun.
The bottom line here, Morgan, as guys just came down pit road, we're getting ready, by the way, for Glass Mechanics stage number 2. This will be about 40 laps or less than 40 laps to go to lap 60. But what I will say is this, though, basically the key is these drivers that you see. If you want to put the bracket up again, Boss Man Dean, you see the names. And if you're following what I was saying before the big wreck, Morgan, you've got 4 drivers that you've really got to contend with. And you've got 3 rounds. 1 driver is going to get eliminated by the virtue of the bracket, and the next 3 are the 3 drivers you will battle. So the bottom line is this. Look at the whole bracket to the championship 6. The winner of the bracket of the 6 different brackets will be the drivers, Morgan, that will be fighting for the title at the finale. Your goal right now, even though you've got another 30 guys out there, your biggest thing is Cole Henriksen, Brady LaBeouf, Justin Lumpkin, Tom Lester. If you got them 4 guys around you, your goal, just like Brady LaBeouf just did, finishing in the top 3 in the stage, is to get as much points as you can over your 3 drivers. And then 1 guy gets eliminated, you next 3 battle, then you final 2 battle. 1 of y'all are going to go to the championship 6. That's the best way in layman's terms that I can say for somebody that doesn't understand it. That's how we're going to determine who goes to the championship 6. Now remember, as you said, you win, you advance. You win. If Brady LaBeouf or Lucas Lyons can come back and win this, or somebody else, that propels you to go to the next round. But remember, right now, you've got 3 rounds, 4 drivers. You've got 3 weeks, tonight Daytona, next week Chicago, and the following week at Michigan, to put yourself in position to just try to be the next 3 out. Don't even think about a championship, Morgan. Don't put the pressure on you, right? I mean, just try to advance to the next level of the bracket.
Absolutely. You're going to be battle tested by the end of those 4 rounds anyway.
Yes.
Don't even think about the championship yet. The cup will come. But for now, just focus on Daytona, getting all the points you can today. As the green flag is going to go back in the air for stage number 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic. Great launch of the 51 on the bottom. He's going to easily clear the 47. And this is going to be the first time, really, we've seen a restart with a big advantage to one lane or the other. As we roll
double the distance. Double the distance in this stage as well. Remember, first stage was 20 laps. They probably ran about 3 laps under the caution at the end of the stage. So you're looking at about a 37-lap green flag run to lap number 60. And then obviously that final stage will take you to lap 100. That's another 40 laps, by the way. There's an error on the race analysis. The final stage says 20 laps. It should be 100. But nonetheless,
40 laps.
Working off the corner. Here they come to the line. It is LaBeouf on the inside. He's got Gregory now. Look at this going on. Gregory, now Peacock is up in this mix. Right behind LaBeouf, the leader, as we go to the corner into turn number 1.
And the 20 of Larson had a bad pit stop, slid through the pit box. That's why he finds himself back in row number 3 and not up there leading the race as he was before that. And Brian Chu had stayed out. He's the only driver really to stay out here on 10-lap old tires and 10 laps less fuel than everyone else here. Can he make it to the end of the stage? I think so, but it might be a little tight for driver 51. We have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully no green flag pit stops, as here you got to pit with help. You can't pit by yourself. I don't know if the rest of the field has to bring it down to pit road with 100% fuel here this evening, but right now still 2x2 up at the front. In fact, the 3 wide single filed out now. We are still 2x2 all the way throughout the field here. Pretty orderly, other than the big one, obviously, that happened on the end of the first stage there. Pretty orderly race so far, Daytona. Would you say, Wesley?
And the question is obviously, where do you end up as far as like who got wrecked, who got out, who's damaged? You look in the scoring pylon, you do see some pretty good named drivers that are out of this race. Oh, and by the way, there's something to think about too. There is no fast repairs in this series, Morgan. So the guys that got a really, really bad wreck, they're out. They're damaged. They're either on the clock, on the damage clock right now, trying to take time to get fixed to get back out, minimal damage, or you're damaged beyond repair. You're out of this race. And there's guys that are out right now.
Absolutely. We go back a little further to the 88 machine here, trying to force it 3 wide up the high side. Talk about being damaged. You talk about, these drivers not having the fast repair. It's dangerous right now to be going 3 wide this early in the race. We're still not even halfway in the show yet. Only 27 laps in. And we are forcing our way up the high side. The 88 machine having a good run here. Phil Pappas trying to get after it with the 3. Remember, 3 was involved in an accident earlier. He got some pretty heavy damage on the front stretch. I think he neck coded through it. Didn't get it as bad as he could have, and now the 88's going to drop him off. Leave the 3 all by himself on the high line up there. That is a lonely feeling for this point in the race. Yeah, we're just trying to survive at this point. But a little housekeeping for everyone at home. Tyler Goodwin, Craig Schroeder, Keith Haney have retired from the session. They are out of the race. Joshua Suss is 7 laps down. He is still on the pit lane. Adam Newton is 4 laps down. He's on the racetrack, but well off the pace. Lucas Lyons, the last driver, on the lead lap at the moment. Damaged truck, obviously, as we go 3 wide here into turn number 3. 24 is going to slide down to the bottom. And now we're going to be 3 wide for the lead just for a moment. As we roll back to Wesley here off of turn number 4.
Here they come, 3 wide up. As you see some of these trucks pulling out of line, they're coming down to the pit lane. By the way, remember, fuel capacity is at 100%. If you're doing the math, probably, what are you thinking, Morgan? About a 25, 30 lap run on the fuel, on the tank?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that, probably 35 and 32 to 35, and I think that also gets you a little bit extra for when the stage happens. You got to run those 2 pace laps to be able to get back to pit road, so I'm thinking 32 on fuel here this evening. Look at this, still
inside, Peacock,
so hard.
Look at this, yes sir. Peacock, wow. Larson on the outside, got to push by Cherry, got to push by LaBeouf in the 24. By the way, that dark black truck, that is Gregory. That is a very unique wrap job on that truck, right? It's just a stealth black look. It's no numbers, no sponsors hardly, but it is Stephen Gregory right there in the 6th or 5th spot as they go back into the corner.
Oh, that was just about a crash. A little bit above him, the 88 machine got loose, bounced off the wall, bounced off the side of the 27, was able to get it back right. As Cofield's got a bit of a blinking issue down here on the backstretch. We are one bad move away here from completely falling apart, and it might happen with the 20 and the 54 up at the front. I've seen those 2 wiggle a number of times down these straightaways. Remember, on the straightaways, these trucks aren't loaded. There's really no weight on the rear tires. There's nothing holding them into the banking, so you push somebody wrong, like where Lucas Lyons got turned, that's game over. Whereas in the corners, you got a little bit more to play with because these trucks are leaned over to the right side digging into the pavement, and a lot more grip there, so you can push a little bit harder. It's really kind of an interesting idea here at Daytona, pushing in these trucks. We're rolling here through stage 2, 31 of 60 complete here in stage number 2.
The overall is going to take us to lap 60 of the race. This is 2 40-lap stages of stage 2 and stage 3. That'll go to lap 60, then we'll re-rack them, restack them, and go again to lap 100. There is a chance of overtime. It is unlimited if need be. Peacock inside alongside LaBeouf right there side by side. LaBeouf season 2 champion. Gregory on the inside. There goes Brian Chu. You know, Morgan, I call him Mr. Restrictor Plate. This man knows how to win in super speedway racing. He's right there in the top 10.
Absolutely, and he is on the back foot when it comes to strategy. Talking about Brian Chu, I believe that's who you're talking about as well. A little bit on the back foot. He has the least amount of fuel in the tank. We saw some drivers peel off to pit already. I would have to think the 51's also going to bring it down pit road here fairly quickly. But he's also saving a lot of fuel right here, running fourth back on the inside, able to feather it quite a bit. Really able to make it last, the fuel tank. Here as LaBeouf leads, the boss man going to lead a lap. That's definitely going to help him in the points. We got Larson rolling the high side here. He's got Cherry pushing him, and Richards, I believe, right behind him on the high side.
LaBeouf. Don't forget to subscribe and like Brady LaBeouf down to the inside, originally from Louisiana, now from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Behind him, Peacock and Larson. Larson, I tell you what, he could have got caught up in all of that big mess scrapple that happened in the first stage, but he patiently, I think, backed away, played possum, if you will. It's worked to his advantage right now in Glass Mechanics Stage 2. Morgan, they're side by side. Larson on the outside with a push by Cherry to the lead in one.
And we're pushing hard here up at the front of the field. The first 8 trucks really trying to break away from the field right now, and they're trading blows. Inside will lead, then the outside will lead, then they're going to run on the inside and outside and back and forth and back and forth. Right now it's Larson who's got the spot, but LaBeouf is going to get the run into turn number 3. Here comes Cherry to the back of the 20. It's already a 2-truck gap. The Peacock going to go up high and block it. He will not, but the advantage definitely on the low side right now.
It's the NASCAR DSR Electric Truck Series Playoffs Bracket Challenge. Round number 1 going on Daytona. Usually this is the place where you start the season, maybe in the regular season. No. NASCAR throws it out the window and starts the playoffs here at the World Center of Racing. And then you go to a 2.5-mile layout like tonight. Then we go to Chicagoland and Michigan, another 1.5 and 2-mile racetracks that are really going to be, I believe, very essential in determining who will be the next drivers to advance to the playoffs, much less make a run to a championship.
Absolutely. You're going to have to be good at all types of racetracks, but you're especially going to have to be good at 1.5 miles as we are pitting here for the leaders. Peacock down to the inside. Don't speed here. Do not speed coming to pit road. Everyone looks like they get it loaded up in time. Now it's about execution, being on the same page as everybody else who's coming to pit road. Is it 2 tires? Is it fuel only? How much fuel? 4 tires? What are we doing here? Leave with your group. You do not want to be left behind at this stage of the game. That'll be detrimental and probably ruin your chance at winning here this evening. Can you tell I've done this, like this racing thing before, Wesley?
Oh, yeah.
It's so stressful coming to pit road at Daytona and Talladega. Getting to pit road is super stressful because you never know if someone is going to hear you when you call it out. You never know if you're going to be able to get a group with your guys afterwards. No one's pitting this time around, it looks like. It is the most stressful time of the race. Forget about the end of the race. You got to get there, and you got to get there by executing on pit road.
And you got to hope that maybe your teammates are with you or friends. If you ain't got any, you got to see if you can try to make some, Got to have the luck on your side.
Absolutely. Even just join into somebody else, even if they're not your friends. Just make some quick friends here for
friends. Hey man, if I go out of line, you go with me. Exactly. Hey, look, let's get to the end of the race, but let's try to just right now work with each other. As right now you see Robert Richards, the all-time starter of NASRA, up in the front now. He's in that group as he closes in on another lap being completed with Cherry, Bailey, Richards. Look at Bailey now. Bailey the third was at a caution earlier. He's now up fighting with the lead with Matt Cherry. Larson, Richards, by the way. I mentioned the driver, Robert Richards. Tonight, Morgan Cook is his 415th all-time start with NASRA since 2020. Unbelievable.
I don't even have 415 races on iRacing, period, across leagues and officials, across all divisions. 415 in one series, in one umbrella group as NASRA 360 is. Unbelievable, and hats off to him. That is an unbelievable accomplishment. And he's going to pit here. Let's see how practiced he is on pit road. I think one driver hit the inside wall, actually.
Oh, 3 wide. Oh!
Somebody missed pit road as well. Oh, wow. It was LaBeouf. LaBeouf almost missed the entry to pit road and just about took out Cherry. and the 48 of Richards, who hit the inside wall himself. What a chaotic pit entry. Oh my goodness. That group is going to struggle coming off of the pit lane, as we're still on board here with the leaders. Stiers, Bailey, Strange, and JD Larson are currently your top 4. Brian Chu, Mr. Stricker Plate, here in P number 5.
Let's go side by side. We'll thank some of our sponsors. We'll still stay with you calling the race as the handle picks are on around Daytona. We're settling in on nightfall here at the World Center of Racing. This is the DSR Electric Truck Series for NASRA, round 1 of the bracket, the playoff bracket challenge. And right now, after a massive crash at the end of the first stage, things really changed. And now Owen Scrage is now being showed as the new leader in the 21. Up 28 spots, Joey Stiers up now to the top spot. They're flip-flopping like it's a pendulum of justice here in Daytona right now, Morgan.
Looks like we might be pitting this time for this front group here. We're going to have to buckle in. This could get a little bit wild as everyone's on the inside line, save for those top 3 running the high side. Looks like we're going to stay on the racetrack for another circuit here. I believe we can go another 6 laps for Chu. Everyone else probably another 12 or so to get you to the end of this fuel stint. Still got 20 left. Still got 20 laps left here in this stage. You're going to have to pit one time for sure, as everyone else in the field has. We're really testing the fuel mileage. If you're the 51, and there goes the boss man, LaBeouf, a lap down. He's going to stay to the high side here. He had a bad pit entry. Possibly a speeding penalty on the 24. Not exactly sure of that, but regardless, he is now 1 lap off the pace of this lead group who has not pit yet. And another time, going to stay out here on the racetrack, really pushing the mileage. But if you're organized, this group, by the way, not organized, you really should have every driver in a single file line wrapping the bottom to make maximum speed. But
Yeah.
but if you can stay organized and you can pit last, you can be very effective. Same way as if you pit first and you stay organized, you can be very effective. I'm curious to see what this is going to look like maybe once everything cycles out, if this group is able to retain the lead, because we are fighting very hard for not a lot right now. It might be wise just to get in line, maybe save a little bit extra fuel, a little bit shorter pit stop, rather than going too wide here at this juncture of the game. As we saw that middle group that pit, they had a couple drivers make mistakes, and we are slowly lapping those drivers. I think this is actually our stage winner, Larson, going a lap down. So that's big news.
How about
right
that?
There?
I mean, there you see it right there. Look at what happened as Larson, as Morgan just mentioned, dominating the first. Well, I'm going to say dominated. He won the first stage, and now he is a lap down as we approach the halfway mark of this race. 45 minutes into it, hitting the lap number 43, and halfway coming up at lap number 50. There's your race recap on the bottom right. There it is. Joey Stiers, now the new leader. There's been 3 cautions for 8 laps, 2 for on-track accidents, 18 lead changes so far, with 57 to go at the line. Yes, Ryan T says, let's go Stiers. That's what he's pulling for. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Morgan Cook, the Friday night color analyst, with my buddy, the redneck announcer, Jacob Reeves. He is joining me on color tonight, as Jacob is off at is it his job? It's a truck rodeo or something?
It's his day job, I believe.
Yeah, he works. I know he works with the town, the city, and I think they have like a competition rodeo. And
truck off in the grass.
About it the other day.
Is that the 48 machine of Richards?
I think it is.
Some sort of heavy damage here on the 48 machine. I saw some smoke there on the backstretch. We got to be getting pretty close to pitting here. I have to think it's in the next lap or two, as we've already run 31 for the number 51.
And we're heading on lap 44 of 60. Remember, lap 60 will be the end of the stage. We're also less than 5 laps away, Morgan, to the halfway mark of the race.
Absolutely, and do remember
3
that
wide.
first driver on the inside, the 19, that's almost a lap down machine. And actually the driver to his outside is also almost a lap down. So the 2 leaders of those lines are not actually the leaders of the race at this particular moment.
Falling back. The 21, he led earlier in the race. And now Owen Scrage in the 21 truck, the silver-blue 21 behind the 44 of Thomas, now falling. Letting new leaders come to the front. Steyer's now by a little bit, Maurer and Chu.
Yeah, there's really no reason to go out here and lead this race at this moment because you are going to be burning more fuel than everybody else. If you can ride right where the 23 is, he's the leader right now, but he's the second car in line on the bottom. Or if you're the 971, you're now the leader, third car on the top, right? You're saving a lot more fuel than the 19 to 24. Oh, that was a suicide clear by the 24. Goodness gracious. But if you're able to stay behind these guys, you can save a little bit more fuel, and that could help you later in the race. If you need that one extra lap, you might get it right here. Still not pitting, though.
That power, yeah.
I am surprised that we have not hit the pit lane yet. You're going to have to do it, and I'd be curious to know the leading group. Where are they at on the racetrack? I'm seeing about half a lap down, something like that. Stephen Gregory, I believe, is leading that group at the moment. It's 15th position. There they are, side by side. That is also inefficient, but they're such a big group, I think it's going to work out for them. I'll have to check out the lap times and see. Looks like they're matching lap times right now. In fact, the lead group's a little bit faster, so this might work out for the group you see on your screen right now. This is, and Lucas Lyon's going to get lapped here for a second time here tonight. It might just work out, this little inefficiency, 2-car, side-by-side sort of draft they got going on here. I don't know.
Here's something to think about. The more and more that you stay locked up with somebody, you're also conserving fuel. The guy in the front is the sitting duck. He's using up fuel. The other guys behind him, they're conserving.
Exactly, and if you're the 3 drivers in front of the leader right now, you want to caution immediately because that will cycle you all the way back around to catch up to the field because you're not technically a lap down right now. You're just 1 truck away from it. So they want to lead this race. They don't want to burn the fuel, but they want to be ahead of the leader because if they're behind him and the caution comes out, you're trapped a lap down, you have to get a wave around, whatever. You don't want that, right? You basically effectively lose the race. Somebody's hitting pit road right here. Not sure who that was. The 21 machine. Going to break it down pit road of Scrange. That is not what you want. And I think he missed the pit box as well. That's a double whammy. So not only pitting on your own, but pitting on your own and making a mistake. He can probably kiss the top 10 goodbye unless he's able to keep it on the lead lap here on this stage, which is going to be very difficult.
All of this happening now as we are closing in a few more laps to the halfway mark of this race. By the way, we're also around 11 laps to go in Glass Mechanics stage number 2. Round number 1 of the playoffs, season 5 of the Nazareth DSR Electric Truck Series Playoffs Bracket Challenge. It's not just the playoffs anymore. There's a bracket, and there's a driver challenge, and there's all sorts of new scenarios. And all the while, we close in on halfway. There goes Owen Scrage, finally back out on the racetrack, but he is by himself. There's your thoughts of being a sitting duck right there. The best thing he could have done for Owen, Morgan, was try to get in line, but he can't because obviously, as you know, there's the blend line. He can't pull back onto the racetrack until he passes the blue cone in the back straightaway. They're already gone.
Absolutely.
That's a memory.
If you try and blend before that, as you mentioned, Wesley, you will absolutely get a penalty. And here comes the leaders now. Going to hit pit lane right now. Don't speed, like I said earlier. Oh, Newton might have just sped a little bit there, but make sure you get down to your pit box, hit the marks, get out of the pit box clean. Halfway right now. There we go.
Yep, cross flags in the air, 50 down and 50 to go. 10 remaining in stage number 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic. Now J.D. Larson being showed as a new leader. Look at all of these guys exiting off pit road, though, led by Nate Maurer.
J.D. Larson didn't pit He is one of only 2 drivers. Him and Tom Lester chose not to bring it down the pit lane. Nathan Maurer, the 971 at the moment, is the leader. We're going to see, or is the leader of the drivers who have pit. We're going to see where everything cycles out when those
Here
2
comes
groups
Lester
merge
in.
back together. Oh, there goes Peacock in a flash by him. Easily, not even close. That second group cleared
Wow.
the leaders.
I mean, passed him like nothing. Just absolutely flying down the straightaway. And there you see what it means to have a big swarm, a big pack, if you will. The school taking it to the bully, if you will.
Yeah, right about that. Yeah, producer's asking about J.D. Larson here, and he's riding in a group of 4. He's got the 20 and the 24 in front of him, so he is saving fuel a little bit. This might be one of those see how far the tank will go. We saw Brandon Chu go 35. We are currently sitting at 29 laps on the tank. Going to be 30 here on the tank of J.D. Larson. So
And we said, 30, 35 laps on the tank? I mean, he's pushing it. Wow.
I can say comfortably another 4 laps. I don't think he can go much farther than that. We still got 8 laps left in this stage, so this is really Hail Mary time for the 98. I don't know if this is going to work out for him, but if it does, that would be a shot across the bow in terms of fuel mileage, shot across the bow in terms of playoff points, stage points. Could be a big move here for driver 98, but he is getting caught in a hurry by the leaders in front of, or by the group behind him. They're a little over a second a lap faster.
Side by side up the 31 degrees of banking. Working now. 8-7 to go. Your leader is Larson. There's that second, third, fourth pack. So here you go. J.D. Larson just crossed the line. He has 7 remaining in the stage. He is by himself, if you will, as they're working now off turn 4. He has 27 seconds ahead of second place Taylor Peacock, Hendrickson, Gregory, Cofield, Hoffman. They're all right there nip-tucked with each other as they go back into 1.
And now Larson is just in a group of lap trucks by himself as the leader. He's got 5 lap trucks with him, just trying to save enough fuel to get to the end of the stage, while Peacock is driving as hard as he possibly can, smelling blood in the water. Hendrickson on the high side. Or actually right behind him, apologies. We got a race forming here. I don't know if the 98 can make it, but if J.D. Larson can make it, check the frame rails of that truck. Oh, caution is out!
Wow.
Oh, that's exactly what he needed. Oh, my goodness.
This changes everything.
Out. It does. And I believe it was Chad Ross was the driver who went around the 38
there he
machine.
Is. The Goodwrench Chevrolet number 38, Chad Ross, putting us under yellow flag number 4, presented by Surf Pro here at Daytona. Here's your Pulse Poppers instant replay. Morgan, you saw it break loose. And by the way, there is 5 laps remaining now in stage number 2.
So here's Chad Ross taking the high side, trying to follow the 47. I don't know if the 7 quite realized where he was, or the 38 realized where the 7 was, but contact with the 87. Raul Meza involved tangentially in this one. He luckily got away from that. But Ross gets turned a little bit. I think he gets turned back into the outside wall. No, he just gets turned a second time off the nose of the 7 machine. And fairly heavy contact for the 38. Hopefully that truck is okay. Looks like it's mostly on the nose. It looks like the wheel... Oh, no, the wheel's definitely off. It's a tough break for Chad Ross.
From another angle. Wow, Pulse Pomper instant replay. Now, my question is this, and I would say you're crazy if you don't. Larson, you better come down pit road.
Yeah, you got it.
You better come down pit road. And Peacock, Hendrickson, Cofield, how important is track position over right now pitting? You know, I don't want to say this, but I mean, you know, they last pitted at lap 35. Larson last pitted at lap 22. Is he going to pull off? That's the question. Or does he have enough to stretch it by running under caution, Morgan?
I don't know. I think he's still going to be a lap short here for the 98. But I really think if you're anyone in the top 10, you got to pit here. I really feel that way because you've already run 20 laps, at least 20 laps, 21 now for most of the field on this tank of fuel. I really feel like you probably should have pit here because now you can kind of flip the stage for the next one and be on the front foot for the entire rest of the race. And looks like the back half of the field got the memo. I see Stephen Thomas, the first driver on pit road, in 18th. This might pay big dividends for these drivers hitting pit road right now. Obviously, stage points being important, but hopefully didn't sacrifice a race win making this call. And just on cue, have a look at the bracket as well. Again, you got to beat those other three in your group. Where is JD Larson on here?
Just think, Morgan, just think in flux how that bracket is going to be. I don't think JD Larson's in.
I don't think he's on there, actually.
In the bracket. So, I mean, he's one of those guys that, in the lyrics to the song, by Kiss, you got nothing to lose, right? You've got nothing to lose, bottom line. Right. So, hey, make it happen. Do what you got to do. And you know what? And that's the thing we need to remember, too, as well, to our audience. We got to let them know, Morgan, when we say that the stage will end at lap number 60, that's when the stage will end. Meaning that if we have another one-lap shootout before the end of the stage, they will do that. If we're under caution and it ends on lap number 60, then that's officially the end of the stage. There's been times in the past where we would call the stage because of a caution a lap or two before. People complained about it, Morgan. We're not doing that no more. Whatever lap the stage is whatever the lap will be. You might see a 1-lap or a 2-lap shootout here.
Absolutely, and I'd still, if we go back racing at all, I would be very nervous if I was the fueler on the 98 to make sure you got that thing totally full because we are going to go back racing.
It's going to be a 2-lap shootout.
Oh, I'd be nervous. I'd be.
No, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. It's lap 57 on the board. They'll come to the green. It'll be lap 58, meaning that there will be 2 laps to decide this stage.
If you're the inside line, you are holding your breath right now that the 98's got enough fuel to make it around. Because if he doesn't, if he stumbles on the start, getting up to speed, there is going to be a massive checkup on the inside lane. And that could be another caution here this evening that nobody wanted to see. That would absolutely bring out the stage. But this is going to get wild, folks. 35 laps. This truck. I've not seen a driver go more than 35 laps today. Brian Chu went 35, and he promptly pit right after. I don't know about this, but we're going to see if the frame rails were hollowed out on that 98 or not. If he's got an extra little jerry can on board of that black, white, and red machine.
Don't forget to subscribe and like because this one is definitely getting good strategy-wise.
The notification icon, right, make sure you click on it so you don't miss a moment of the racing action here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. You don't want to miss these. I mean, where else are you going to find this kind of heart-pounding action? Can we make it on fuel for the 98? The rest of the field obviously good for a 1-lap dash to decide, possibly 2-lap dash. We'll see about that. To decide stage number 2 to set up for the bracket for the first round of the playoffs. It's the race within the race within the race here at Daytona. Nothing better. No place I'd rather be than right here, right now. Green flag is out. Barney's going to wave it. Oh, and we're wrecking on the front stretch.
He ran out of fuel. He ran out of damn fuel. That's what happened. He ran out of fuel and took out the field on the restart. Oh
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, you can't write it any better than that, folks. What just happened?
Either he spun the tires or he ran out of fuel. He didn't go. He didn't fire. Here's the deal. You might have had fuel to the tank, but remember, you got to push it to get the igniters to go. to get up to speed in the injection. He couldn't fire. He sputtered right there, and it stacked the field behind him, Morgan.
Oh, man, that is a heartbreaker.
Wow.
If you're the driver behind him and got turned to the inside, I don't remember who it was. That is a heartbreaker, and this is going to be the stage break right here.
Watch this again. Watch this again. Larson, I think he missed the gear, or he is sputtering. Cole Hendrickson is going to win the stage.
Wow.
Cole Hendrickson will be awarded the stage win because this is they still got another lap left to go here. He's in the lead. Man.
Yeah, that is a heartbreaker. And I thought the 81 actually was the driver leading when the caution came out, but we're not going to be able to check that as we don't have a caution light here on this the technology that we have. We don't quite have that camera set up.
Right there ahead, and there's the pace truck, and there is Cole Hendrickson catching the pace truck. He's in front.
Looks like the 10 is going to get the stage win. Peacock's going to be second, and he was second in the first stage as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that's excellent points.
How about this, Morgan? Larson, even though he spun the tires or he ran out of fuel or sputtered or something, he still finished his third. He's coming. No, he's not. He's coming down pit road.
He still might be able to get a good spot here because most of the field hasn't caught up yet. I think he's still going to get some stage points out of this.
Wow.
Unreal.
Now, let's go back to the accident, shall we? Let's go back to the restart because this right here, I mean, talk about rolling the dice. Watch the leader. That's Larson. I can't tell if he spun the tires.
Oh, he spun the tires for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the black mark off the left rear when he accelerated. I don't think he was expecting the bump that came just before the restart zone. You can see it right here from the 10, who actually ended up winning the stage.
So we don't think he ran out of fuel. We don't think he was sputtering.
No, I don't think
he spun the tires on the restart,
yeah,
basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow. Watch this again and listen to this as they work their way back to the restart zone. This is again with that 2 laps to go.
So
Larson on fumes.
He's going to get a bump here just before the Geico restart zone. That sets this whole thing off.
Watch. Man, and you know what? I know he stacked up the field behind him, but what a hell of a save for Larson to keep going and not lose momentum when all that happened behind him. Wow. From another angle.
I think it was the 58, too, that ended up getting spun into the grass
Hendrickson
here. Yeah, right there. Goes Cofield, the 3 machine as well. I think that's...
Yeah, it's Cinnamon. Then you got Page, you've got Maurer, you've got Meza.
Meza going through the grass again.
All these guys in the grass. Yes, sir.
It's like is he going to save it? Look at that. Look at that green 37 trying to do the old Lightning McQueen right to go left. It's like he's going to save that truck. Unfortunately, all the track position, that was Raul Meza. Unfortunately, all the track position is gone for that 37. There he's on the inside. Maybe we can get I don't think you have it on board, Dean, but...
On board with Raul Meza, 37.
Look at that.
Watch this.
Just take a hard left down to the grass and keep your foot in it and don't spin the thing out. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Look at this. Look at that. And listen, Larson was sideways. He was turning into Peacock. They would have crashed. I think if Peacock wouldn't have been there, Larson would have probably ate the safer barrier. But because Taylor Peacock in the 81 was there, it helped Larson to overcorrect and get back fish going again. There's Hendrickson. There's the bump. There it is. Look at that right there. I'll help you. I'll help you.
Oh, and that was absolutely what cost the 81 the stage as well, is being able to straighten out the 98. The 10 just squeaked right on by underneath the yellow, which avoiding an accident is totally okay, and that's exactly what the 10 was doing in my eyes, is he was avoiding an accident that was more than certain to happen.
After he kind of started it, right? I mean,
kind of, sort of, yeah. Well, hey, whatever works, you know.
I'll call it like I see it. I mean, he did bump the
He did.
89, right? I mean,
I think more than that, the 33 man got a pretty good shove on the 10. Look at the nose of the 33 machine. But there was a lot of pushing on the inside, trying to get that good run. And of course, we saw what happened there with the 98, a little bit of spinning the tires. And Henriksen wins the stage, and we are lights out on the pace truck here in turns 3 and 4. Lap number 62 of 100. We are now in the final stage. No more scheduled breaks. You're going to have to hit one time to make it to the end, as we just found out, because everyone pitted in that stage, remember?
And this is the third and final stage to the finish.
Absolutely.
Coming back to green, my friend. 38 laps to go here in Daytona. It is time to punch the go button if you've been saving something.
Absolutely, and a big jump here by the 10. That's probably not going to be a good move. Although the outside line did not get going whatsoever. Peacock did. Nobody else followed him. Here comes Diebold. Remember him earlier in the race. Still got the nose damage to show for it. On the 14, they're on the high side. Going to push Peacock. Oh, issue for the 33 getting out of line. Potentially heating issues. Maybe with that nose punched in that far. Maybe needs to ride around in the back. But Peacock is going to easily take the lead. Diebold right behind him. And the 18, haven't seen him all night tonight. That's Justin Lumpkin. That's a purple DSR Electric number 18. Not a scratch on that machine as he rolls the high side.
Nightfall settling in as well as they work their way off of turn number 4. Peacock in the lead. Right there, Lumpkin on that outside. Look at Justin Lumpkin. Got help with Thomas. These guys were in the grass a moment ago. The lawnmower men are up in the front now here in Daytona.
A couple DSR Electric teammates controlling that high side. Look at the focus on his face out on the driver cam. Lumpkin absolutely glued on that screen in front of him. Every movement with the steering wheel matters so much at these moments when you're this close. Caution is out. Stephen Gregory, I believe. No, not Stephen Gregory. Tom Lester.
That is Jeffrey Johnson involved, the 33. There goes Bailey in the 28.
Lee Bailey's who I saw pretty heavy damage on both corners of the front end of that 28 machine.
Yeah, look at the left front bouncing on the chrome green of the tire. Watch this again. Caution out again here. Watch one more time. The 28.
So on the high side there.
Here it is. There it is. Yep.
There's JD. Oh, wow, they're wrecking in front of him.
That was Stephen Gregory in the fence. That is Stephen Gregory up in the wall. Yeah, good call there, Morgan. You got it. And then Bailey and then the other guy, Jeffrey Johnson, nowhere to go. Watch this again.
Yeah, what happened to Stephen Gregory? Because there was a big issue there. You can see him 3 wide here on the top side. That blacked out number, well, it would be number 61 if there was a number on it. Machine. Oh, he just got tagged by Cherry.
Yeah, Stephen Gregory hit by Matt Cherry into the wall. Stephen Gregory into the fence. Then goes Bailey. And I'm thinking that in the process, Johnson got collected as well. Oh, boy.
It's been a tough
Look
night.
at this.
Been a tough night for Jeffrey Johnson.
Did he just spin out to avoid? Maybe
I think he's just well off the pace here, and we just thought he was in it because he had fallen back a little bit. I think he was just able to avoid this accident, which is great news for the 33.
Money stop. Here comes everybody on pit road here, Morgan. This is it, I believe.
I think this should get you to the end here for sure. Not if you're the leader, but if you're anywhere but the leader, I think you can make it to the end here. Just to put a bow on that, Lee Bailey has left the session here, along with Tyler Goodwin, Craig Schroeder, and Keith Haney. Stephen Thomas, 5.6 in the box. That's going to get him the first off the pit lane here. Cole Larson, leaving less time in the box. This is going to be a interesting finish here. Raul Meza going to end up here P3, it looks like, off pit road. Bo Tiffany. Luke Smith. Boss man Brady LaBeouf behind him. Kerry Trebrew. Joey Stiers, Brian Chu, and Nathan Maurer are your top 10.
Under caution. Let's grab. Oh, let's see if we're gonna get somebody here. Yeah, let's see if we can get Larson in the box and interview him. He was the first stage winner, right? Wasn't he the?
Cole Larson was, yep.
Yeah. So catch up where we left off here. Bring Cole Larson in. Part of the Larson Esports group. We'll grab him real quick. Cole Larson, it's the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, stage 1 winner, but it has been pretty wild here in Daytona. You're taking surviving this final 40 laps.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I was going down pit road the first time on that green flag. Brady, when he hit the wall or whatever happened, he scared me, and so I had a horrible pit stop, and then I jumped my freaking pit stall, so it screwed me up over there. But yeah, I'm finally back up here, and we're ready to get after it.
Morgan, you got anything for Cole before we get ready for a restart? I think we're coming to 1 to go.
Can you make it to the end on fuel? I think that's the question we're all wondering.
Really close.
Love that answer.
Hey, real quickly, how is JD acted after the shenanigans he just went through?
He's all right. Now he has wheel damage, so.
Go get him, Cole. Thanks for your time.
Yep, thank you.
There you go. We'll put him back in his box with Larson Motorsports. And while that goes on, let's grab... where are you, my friend? Where are you? I can't find you. There he is. Let's grab Cole Hendrickson, who ended up being the Stage 2 winner. Cole, it's the booth. You got a copy, man.
Yo, what's going on?
It's been a wild one, ain't it? How did all that going down in front of you and you missed it and was able to sneak away?
Oh, yeah, that was wild. I wasn't sure what happened because, like, the green flag came out and I heard his truck go up in RPM, but it's like he just didn't go. So I don't know if he missed a shift or what exactly happened, but... Oh, really? Okay.
You know, he was stretching fuel, too. You know that, Cole, right? You know, he was really stretching fuel as well.
Well, and that's... Yeah, we were really surprised that he stayed out, so... but yeah, luckily I made it out, but unfortunately a bunch of my teammates didn't. But yeah, just happy to get the stage win, I guess. So now we kind of got some points to play with here, and we can go have some fun in this final stage.
Morgan, got anything real quick? We're coming to green, boss.
As we roll turn 3 here, what's going to take to win this race?
Well, I think you're just going to have to be smart. If we go green here, which I doubt it, it's going to be very, very, very close. So these guys leading up here, I wouldn't be surprised if you see one of them try to tuck behind somebody. So it's going to be interesting.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Up Front Motorsports, that is Cole Hendrickson. You just heard from Cole Larson. There's all the stage winners as we go back to green. Subscribe and like. 33 to go here at Daytona and back underway.
I'm a little curious about that restart. I think the 20 beat the 44 to the line there. I don't know about that. That might have to be reviewed here post-race. If this is the money restart, then I got questions, folks. But the high side...
What is the penalty? What is that, a penalty? Is it a spot back if you get busted?
I would think it would be some sort of EOL penalty if you jump a restart. I think Dean's going to have a look for us here, potentially.
Here's a look at the restart that Morgan's questioning. Watch this again. Pace truck is in. Remember, Larson, the leader.
44's the
Thomas.
leader.
I'm sorry, Thomas is the leader.
It doesn't matter,
I don't
though.
know. Maybe
You
I don't
can't
know.
be the first. You can't be the first to the line if you're the outside. But he definitely was. So I don't know. That's gonna be a lot on race control shoulders. You haven't missed a thing up front. Just as we left it, still 2x2, 20 on the bottom, 46 on the high side. Bo Tiffany showing a little muscle here, right in front of boss man Brady LaBeouf. As we are still 2x2 throughout the field for the final stage of the race. Rolling here.
And here comes a Boeing 747 coming in for landing at the airport. If you've ever been to Daytona, like I have, the airport's right behind the racetrack. Really, really cool. As they come off the corner off turn 4 to the tri-oval, it is Tiffany now up high. That's Bo Tiffany with a push by Larson with LaBeouf. Look at that blur. That's how fast it is.
Yeah, they're only going 190 miles an hour. If you were curious at home, folks, they are getting after it. Yeah, here's what we see. We got our binoculars out all the way across the racetrack. We got 3 wide here back in the middle of the field. Right around that 81 machine of Peacock, who's got the most points today. He's finished second in both stages. And is that the one, the only, what is his name, Chad Ross, who was in an accident earlier, rolling the high side. He got that thing fixed. And we are tuned right up. Good wrench.
I'm afraid you
Really
talk about it, it gets loose, man. I think he's going to crash. They come 30 to go.
You know what they say, loose is fast. And he is sure fast right now, ripping the high line. Gonna get another couple. Oh, we got blocked big time there. The 23 said no. Holy cow. Whole field just clenched right there. That was just about another big one.
If Chad Ross crashes, it's the announcer jinx. It's your fault, Morgan.
That's
you keep talking about it. Well, look at them now.
My eyes are drawn to where the speed is. I'm sorry, and it's all right underneath the hood of that 38 machine.
We started with 2x2, and now as we move into 30 to go, look at this now, Cook. The chef, 3, 4 wide. It's getting spicy. Meza below the line. Look out, Roll. Roll, Meza's got a fight.
They're spinning behind him. Oh, no. Oh, there's one over. Oh, the 80 just about went over. I think we're all still. Is that
Joshua Suss? Oh, no, that is Joshua Suss that got up in the air. And Raw Meza is still somehow keeping going. Oh, wow.
That guy spends more time in the grass than a golf course worker here tonight. My goodness. I think that's the 4th time I've seen the 37 in the grass. He got sent below the apron.
Look at this. By the way, Morgan, Phil Pappas just came back from a suspension. He got suspended from NASCAR a couple of weeks ago due to an on-track incident. Watch this again. That's the 25 into the 88. Look at Page getting up sideways. And then I think the 80 got airborne is what we're, yeah, there it is right there. And then, oh, wow.
Curious to see what happened to the 37 to send him down to the apron, because he, I'm not sure if he got a bad push or if something sputtered, but you can see right there, there's nobody behind him, and he's not getting pushed or anything. He just goes straight down to the apron and causes this because he came back up into traffic.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I think if you're a lot of drivers, you're probably questioning why that just happened. You don't usually see that here. Drivers go all the way below the apron without contact. But you can see it here. He tried to keep his foot in it, but it got tight right there. Washes up, and most people avoided it okay. Yeah, just watching him right here, he just hooks left. Some netcode potentially, just something did not agree with that 37, and almost around he went, but that caused the melee here. But if we go back to the live chat, everyone's on pit road right now. Almost everyone. And if you had any questions about fuel, well, you don't anymore. Just bring it down pit road, put some Goodyears on it, put some fuel in the tank, and good to the end.
Pit stops continuing to happen here at lap number 72, but they're in the back. Guys behind the top 15. And, of course, now Bo Tiffany being showed as the leader. 7th caution for 19 laps under yellow flag. 35 lead changes, and we're not done yet here at Daytona. Stay back. We're with you in just a moment.
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's magical creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Back here at Daytona, and Brady LaBeouf now being showed the leader, Bo Tiffany. Bo Tiffany LaBeouf on the front row as Stephen Thomas, followed by Joey Stiers, Chad Ross. And I question, Morgan, we questioned that restart. Those guys are not up in the front anymore. So I wonder if something might have been called because of it.
Was the first driver to hit pit road here, so I think he intentionally put himself a little bit behind the 8 ball with getting the fuel, and maybe that'll erase, giving up the spot, potentially erase the car. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what'll happen here. Race control have to figure it out. If there is a penalty warranted, which, again, I have not thoroughly combed through the rule book, so I could be mistaken. That's just a typical oval racing rule here, is you can't beat the leader to the restart, to the line on the restart. He clearly did. He was pushed, as Dean had mentioned in our chat here. So we'll have to see. We'll find out after the race if it's a penalty or not. Regardless, he's currently running in the 16th position, the first driver off the pit lane in that 20 Blue Mountain Dew machine.
And we spoke to him, by the way, earlier.
We did.
Stage 1 winner. Cole Henriksen, by the way, Stage 2 winner in 9th or 10th. And we'll get ready to go back for a restart to wrap up the 7th caution of the race. Presented by Surf Pro. Fire, water, cleanup, and restoration, making something that needs to be completely restored look brand new again. Geico, restart zone. Tiffany in the gas of the outside lane over LaBeouf on the bottom, and we are back to it again. 26 laps to go at the world center of racing.
Door to door, down into turn number 1, the outside line with a little bit more momentum here. The inside's going to surge ahead a little bit better. Together they are on the bottom, and look at the 8, look at the 38. What did I say before? A lot of speed in that black and blue machine down there. He was ripping the high side before, now glued to the bottom. But the outside, 5 or 6 deep, is nose to tail. There's a bit of a gap back to the 971 on the bottom. Going to hold the bottom line back just a little bit. Maybe off turn 4, the outside will get another surge and make this thing a little bit closer up at the front. Still fighting 3 wide in the back.
In the tri-oval. Look at Chad Ross, man. Here you go. Right there in the bottle, fighting with Stiers and Thomas. In the top 5, the Goodwrench 38. Look at Kermit now. Bristol winner last week. Luke Smith. Right there in line. 3 quarters down. And, here's the deal, Morgan. You might have been friends. You might have been patient. You might have had more give than take. It's all take now. You've got to show what you got on your truck and your to win this thing here.
Yeah, if you get shuffled back in the pack right now, there's a decent chance you don't ever get another chance to be back up at the front. So you have to do everything you can to keep track position. We've seen a number of drivers been split 3 wide here today and not recovered in a good amount of time. So you have to make sure that nobody gets to your inside, nobody gets to your outside. You pick the right lane to go with, and that you don't fall to the back, because again, you might not get back up to the front. If we look at the number 20 machine of Larson, remember he restarted in 16th, he's now 20th after 3 laps. It is not easy to get going here, as Matt Cherry at the back of your frame is rolling the high side. Get that 54 wound up. He wants to go to the front. He's going to make it 3 wide. A little bit of help from Cofield and the 47 machine. They are moving right now. They're boogieing on the high side.
People rooting on Hogan. Colton Hogan to the 5. His Toyota doing good. He says, I am a real American. Here he comes. Up on the outside, there you see Matt Cherry. Contacted to Hogan. Cinnamon on the bottom, and we're 3 wide. And it ain't going to last long, Morgan. We saw they were all stacked up 3 and 4 wide a moment ago before that accident happened, and I got a feeling they're going to get right back in tow again and do it again all over.
Absolutely, and this is where it gets tricky because you saw right there the 81 tried to block the 54 with a bit of a half-hearted attempt. That's what wrecks the field, is when you half-heartedly try and block the leader. But look at the momentum. Look at the run. How about you give it to Matt Cherry? He's going to go up there and take it. Cofield pushing him. 3 wide for the lead. Oh, they're door banging on the bottom. 3 wide all the way across the front row and all the way throughout the field as well. Tiffany get a little bit out in front, but the high side and the middle are going to surge back down the backstretch. Cherry to the lead with Cofield pushing.
Pushing. One's going up to the penthouse. The other one is falling back to the outhouse without the TP. Here they come off of the second turn. Working off 4, my apologies. And there they are, 3 by 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 3. I love math. I love doing math. That's about 20 trucks, all 3 wide, going at it into turn number 1. My goodness. And 21 to go.
Opening round of the playoff or start of the Indianapolis 500. I can't tell, folks. We're 3 wide all the way throughout the field. And about 25 trucks, 1 second separating them. That's about as close as it gets, folks. And also,
wow.
One mistake here, game over. We saw it earlier with Lucas Lyons getting turned off the nose. Of the 14, that wrecked the field. Anything now? Good night. And it might be good night with 20 laps to go here at Daytona. On your playoff chances in the bracket, the high side's going to fall back just a little bit. Bo Tiffany and Bossman LaBeouf leading the bottom side, the 23 in the middle, with Smith pushing them. And we just cannot get away from each other, can we? But where do you go? Wesley, where do you go at this point in time if you're, say, the 7 machine in the middle? Oh, we got trucks in the wall a little further back. I don't know who that was. A yellow truck is what I saw. Pound the wall on the outside. But we stay green here. But where do you go if you're the 7? Third car back in the third trip back in the middle. What do you do?
I would just try to maybe play possum, hang back, and wait for a gap to open up, if you will, man. If you're a guy like Kerry Tribune, and by the way, this guy has experience. He knows. He's done this a long time. He's not in that middle line for no reason. He might see something or maybe strategize something that we don't. I honestly think he's waiting for that gap to open between the 27 and the 24. And when it happens, Kerry Tribune's going to power along the outside. Look at him right there in line. He is getting in order here. And you see Bo Tiffany staying to the inside. There is LaBeouf right behind him. Open the door. And here's that middle lane led by Stiers we were talking about now, Morgan. And look at the 7 right there in the middle. Says, okay, you push up the middle, I'm going to follow you. The middle lane might be the fastest lane on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, if they have positive momentum, there is nothing that can beat the middle lane. But if you ever get negative momentum, you start getting pulled backwards. There's nothing worse because you're getting side drafted from both sides. Those fender wells are getting filled with dirty air. But when you have momentum, you just give it to everybody else, and you slow down both lanes at once like the wake of a boat is the reference you often hear. But we are still 3 wide for the lead, and second, and third, and fourth, and everywhere else in this field. We cannot sort it out yet. But the high side, we got truck in the wall. 47's around. They're wrecking in the back.
There it is. Trouble.
There it is.
Larson and others breaking apart. Larson, Schreggs spinning. There goes the purple truck of Lumpkin trying to scamper away. Chew as well. Caution out. There's Stephen Page. There's Hendrickson, the Stage 2 winner. Wow. By the way, both stage winners involved in this accident on the back straightaway.
It all started with Stephen Page. Absolutely. Got out of line a little bit, maybe touched the outside wall. Kind of got that high lane stacked up just a little bit.
Here's a replay.
Right there.
It's presented by Pulse Poppers. Watch this again, by the way. This is I believe it's our 8th caution of the race. Watch this again. Here we go, 3 wide. Remember you talked about the truck on the outside. Look at this. How about Gary Tribune easily scampering and getting away from that? Wow.
Oh, the 47 better thank his lucky stars. The 971 was there. That one-way trip to the infield care center. That truck was headed straight for the inside wall. Was able to catch the 971 to break his fall, so to speak. Just look at this. That truck is straight for the inside. Oh, we're going to turn around right on that curb. The entry curb to the bus stop there, where you'll see 24 Hours of Daytona cars hit that thing all the time, those IMSA machines.
And I don't know when they're going to update Daytona or not, Morgan, but you know there's no grass anywhere like that. That's now. Right. It's all pavement. Like after what happened with the crazy crash with Noah Gregson and Ryan Preece. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's not there anymore.
Right. Yeah, right about that. But able to, everyone kept it off the inside wall pretty well from what I recall there. But what was interesting is the 47 of Page just kind of got into the wall on his own. Like he, obviously the contact with the 20 sent him around, but what caused that was really just 47 up into the wall and he could never get off of it. And it slowed him up enough that the 20 got to his inside and around he went. But if you got one more chance at an onboard here, go on board with the 81 machine of Peacock and watch him narrowly avoid this, because he was about as close as you can get.
Wow.
Peacock.
The 81. Watch the 81. He's right in the middle, right there in the middle. Look at this. Wow. Oh, baby.
Does not get much closer
than that. And the part of the Red Seas, right? I mean, stay in your line, buddy. Go high, go low. No, stay straight. Don't go nowhere.
Yeah, you just hold her straight, boys. Don't even think about moving that steering wheel. Just hold it still. Watch this. These are nerves of steel right here.
What's that quote from Days of Thunder? The rule is you go straight forward, so I never took my foot off the gas.
Look at that. Didn't even move off the line, just keep the foot in it and avoided the accident. Well done. But little housekeeping after that one. Dane Hagen has just retired from the session. Stephen Gregory 1 lap down.
Oh, wow.
Adam Newton is 3 down. Joshua Suss 14 down. Lee Bailey III, Tyler Goodwin, Craig Schroeder, Keith Haney all out of the session and will not return. Every other driver now on the lead lap, all the way back to Robert Richards in the 30th position.
Commercial break closing in on 15 to go. 8th caution of the night in Daytona in the playoffs bracket challenge at the World Center of Racing. Who's going to be on top from the DSR 250? The finish coming up.
For Murph's Magical Creations, home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
The next NASRA special is coming up in the month of June. By the way, don't forget, coming up on June the 8th, that is Sunday, June the 8th, the NASRA specials include the NASRA Hoosier Indy 500. We're going to have qualifying to lock in the 33 drivers. That's right, just like as intense as qualifying will be this Sunday to lock in to the greatest spectacle in racing. The same will happen for NASRA on June the 8th. It wasn't enough. That's at 11 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, June the 8th. And if that wasn't enough, later on in the afternoon, we're going the NASRA World 600. 600 miles, 400 laps at Charlotte with the 87 Winston Cup cars. Get signed up at NASRA Racing. Details coming soon on June 8th. 11 in 1 day.
Yeah, that's the double. That's a lot. That's a lot of miles in one day. I mean, Kyle Larson tried it last year, was unable to do it. Tony Stewart's done it in the past. Robbie Gordon's done it in the past. But who's going to be victorious in the double this year? The NASRA double, the Hoosier 500, followed by the World 600. That is going to be one tough day of racing. We're picking you up back here live on the backstretch, side by side for the lead. You got Cherry on the bottom. You got Stiers rolling the high side. Both lines getting great pushes. We just about peaked 3 wide there for Smith. Thinks better of it, as the front half of the field here is pulled away. Bit of a gap from the 18 machine on back. Raul Meza also leading that little second group there, taking a bit of a break just in case something crazy happens here. And we're under 20 laps to go, so it could happen.
And 13 to go now. 13 remaining as they work back out of the corner into 1 and 2. Mark Hofield chiming in. He says working 3 wide at Daytona takes lots of focus. And you're exactly right. I mean, Daytona, Talladega, one wrong slip. And a lot of people don't realize this about Daytona or Talladega. Here's the deal. 31 degrees of banking, 33 to 34 degrees of banking at Talladega. But Daytona is less of the width than Talladega is. Talladega is more banked and it is more wider. Daytona is less wide, meaning you don't have the more room that you got at Talladega. So you're kind of all stacked up like sardines as they work 12 to go back into turn 1, Morgan.
If I'm not mistaken, it's about 12 feet wider. Talladega is in Daytona. This racetrack right now, the same width as Charlotte, the same width as Atlanta Super Speedway. We know how narrow those racetracks are. Daytona, exactly the same width at 40 feet. So think about that next time you go 3 wide, thinking there's not a lot of room below me here as I try and squeeze it up here between the outside wall and that truck in the middle. That's why we see so many accidents here happen out of the corners. Our drivers not quite realizing that the bottom lane has to track up off the yellow line. The middle lane needs somewhere to go as well. And Brady LaBeouf needs to go to the front, apparently, because here goes the 24 going 3 wide. Throwing caution to the wind as we roll with 11 laps to go. Bossman wants to win. He wants to lock himself into the next round.
Up against that outside. He's in that safer barrier. Got Kerry. And there he is again. Look at this again. Kerry Tribune with him. So was Pappas, and the caution's out. Yellow flag will fly.
Jeffrey Johnson Jr. again.
11 to go.
The 33 is stuck on the outside wall, now coming back across the racing surface. That truck was in the outside wall for a long time. He's having a bad day, folks. But I think he might be able to finish this race, although that right front is destroyed on that truck.
10 laps to go. They're coming to the line for 10 remaining. Here's a look at a replay. Look at this. That's Owen Scrage in the 21. And oh my goodness, that is Johnson turned. Maurer turned into the 53 of Lucas Lyons. The Daytona season opener winner in the 53. He ain't going to win tonight. Watch this again. We're going to try to go 4 wide here for a second.
Yeah, not exactly sure if there's a miscommunication there between the 37 and the 21, but they both, for some reason, tried to go to the middle and to the bottom, and there was very clearly another truck there, and that kind of sparked this whole thing, and unfortunately it was the 33 of Johnson Jr., who got the worst of it. But yeah, I don't really know why you're that far off the wall if you're running the high side as the 37, and that kind of sparked this. Jeffrey had the lift, of course, and got hit from behind, and obviously that's going to be, I don't know if it's quite a day ender for Jeffrey Johnson, but that's definitely not going to help his cause here tonight. No meatball, thank goodness, but yeah, he's struggling right now to keep that thing pointed in a straight line.
Another caution flag. Here's a look at the brackets here. Look at this now. You got a guy like Cherry, right? Pappas has struggled. Now he's back up in there again, battling before the caution came out. You got Diebold. He crashed out. Now he's back into the top 12. Cody Knott. He is way. But what I mean by that is they got a guy like Matt Cherry now. He's in the lead. Okay? Matt Cherry, he takes advantage of this, if you will. He does well, Morgan. This guy is looking at, obviously, going to the next round.
Or how about
He's
Stiers?
advancing, right? I mean, you want to get a one-up on all your competition. The same thing with Hendrickson or Lumpkin or Lester. Brady LaBeouf looks like he's going to be the better of the brackets for them. The same thing with, obviously, Stephen Thomas. He's taken it to Lyons. He's beaten Blanchard. Harris, they're already had damage or they're out. So Stephen Thomas is going to have a good advancement. This is what we mean by taking on these guys that are in your bracket.
And you look at the points buffer that Hendrickson, Lyons, Cofield have over the rest of the people in their group. I mean, a win for LaBeouf.
Yeah.
That's really going to hurt Hendrickson's lead. Obviously, LaBeouf's going to be the one who advances, and a bad race or two for the 10 is going to be completely detrimental. Lyons already having an awful night. If Thomas is able to get the win here, that changes everything. And then Cofield has had a pretty solid night here tonight, but Luke Smith is out here running in 5th with a very reasonable shot at winning this race. So, you can go through every one of these brackets, and every one of them have something in there that makes you go, oh, wait a minute. We got something cooking here. And I think that's the reason why we did this bracket, is because it makes things so exciting and it makes things so unpredictable. It's going to come down to that last race at, where'd you say it was? Was it Chicagoland or Michigan? I think it was Michigan.
So it'll be we're going to Chicagoland and then we're going to Michigan for the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
Michigan and Chicagoland, don't get me wrong, love Chicagoland, but Michigan is going to be one heck of a race, trying to figure out who it's going to be advancing to the next round. But we still got to finish out Daytona. And the lights are out on the pace truck. We're doubling up for, I believe this is the 9th caution we've had here this evening. Under 10 laps to go. Who's it going to be? Come on, chat. Line it up for us. Who is going to win this race? Who is going to punch their ticket to round number 2? Now's the time to tell us.
Exactly right. Next week, don't forget, round 2 of the playoffs bracket challenge will be at Chicagoland. That'll be a fun one. And then, of course, we'll get ready to go to Michigan. That's the first races. And now remember, there is a race less than what they normally run in the championship playoff. Like, usually what I mean by there is a round less is what I was going to say. So basically what I mean by that is you're only going to run, I think it's 7 races for the season 5 schedule, which includes obviously the round of 24, which starts tonight. Next week we're at Chicago, then Michigan. Then you go to the round of 18. And then that'll be at Kansas, Atlanta, Kentucky. Then we go to the semifinal round, which will be the round of 12, which is going to be at Richmond, Talladega, and Homestead. And that final race, again, Morgan Cook, will be on July 14th. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a round of 6. And those will be the 6 drivers from the bracket that are in their respective bracket challenge right now to duke it out. 7 laps to go here at Daytona. Pace truck drops onto the pit lane. Here come the virtual warlords in their kaleidoscope of colors, ready to launch, rock, roll, rumble into Daytona, into the finish. Who's it going to be in the DSR Electric 250? They're back into turn 1, and Matt Cherry in the lead.
Easy clear for the bottom line. Cherry and LaBeouf get a 2-car length lead on the bottom side, but here comes Stiers. And he's got the 46 here right behind him. There's Cofield. Haven't seen the 58 in a little while here. And don't look now, there's that green machine, finished second in every stage tonight. That's Peacock, a couple back on the high side as the top 10 have broken away from the rest of the field. Should be able to get back everyone together here, just a couple laps, but with 7 to go, you better find that pedal on the right and you better push it as far as it goes. And don't take your foot off of it because you lift and you're going to go straight to the back here.
Truck step in the corner. Right there, staying in line. That's Cherry in the lead. Look at Joey Stiers powering alongside LaBeouf. LaBeouf now inside. Stiers, Tiffany. That's going to be Peacock on the outside. That's Taylor Peacock poking out of line, trying to hook up with these guys that are side by side, trying to go 3 wide. Oh, they're sideways. Tiffany could have got into Peacock, and that could have been disastrous as they come to the line. We're 3 wide again, going to turn number 3.
Where have we seen this before? Oh, yeah. All night tonight, we've been 3 wide for the lead. We just saw a little door banging down there on the bottom. The 23, the 54 haven't quite figured it out. And now here comes Peacock rolling the high side. Got the Cinnamon Man, the Spice Man. Right behind him, Chris Cinnamon in the 3 machine. Behind him, Pappas in the 88. We saw that truck on its side earlier. He's running 3rd on the high side. A lot of drivers with a lot of chance left here in this race. What are we going to do? 5 laps to go here.
Watching him on the back straightaway. Look at Peacock. Look at the speed with the help of the Spice Man. Season 3 champion Chris Cinnamon up the outside. Here he comes. Now powers alongside the other drivers of Cherry and Stiers. 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. Look at them. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 trucks all in 3 wide. 4 to go as they go back into 1.
Great math, Wesley. Big fan, but we are still side by side for the lead. 81 and the 54, even into turn number 1. Here comes the 23 back in the middle. Can he get the momentum over Cherry as they exit the corner? He should. The bottom line bogs down a little bit off corner exit as the high line's able to let it run free. The trucks get really close together here down the backstretch, and it is a drag race. 24 trucks in a drag race down the Daytona super stretch and into turn number 3.
Boy.
They still haven't figured it out. This is almost chaos. This is organized chaos is exactly what this is. Cherry squeaks ahead for just a moment, but here comes Peacock back to the line. It's like Cherry's going to lead that lap by about a fender over the other 2. Here we go. 3 laps remaining, Wes. What are we doing here?
Look at them staying right in line. Still 3 by 3. That's now Cherry on the bottom. LaBeouf now powers his way alongside Stiers. Remember, they got to get to the white flag. They got to get to the Darren's detail and shine 1 to go. But we are still 3 wide. A bomb is about to go off at any second. It will implode from within. These guys going at it right there.
Well, there it is. 7's in the wall. There goes the 5. 38's in it. 50, 53 as well. There goes most of the back half of the field.
So there's Terry Tribune up in the air on top of Chad Ross as Richard slides down the bottom of the apron. Look at Terry Tribune up on the safer barrier.
Oh, now he's going to roll over.
Get the hell off of me, will you?
and that's where it all started as well. Was Kerry Tribune in the 7. That's where this all started. We're going to see it here. He's fourth car back on the high side. There he is, riding on board with him.
I told you, I've called this for so long, Morgan. I had a feeling the bomb was going to go off, and there it is right there. Look at this. Wow, up and over. Bicycles, the rear end was Richard's truck.
Yeah, a lot of trucks.
Listen to this.
Finding their tires off the ground in that situation. And yeah, I've never seen one.
Look at Kerry Tribune. It's like, dude, get off me. Get off me, man!
Good shot of the underbody on that machine, but yeah, we saw the 21 get into the back of the 7. I think he got on the outside wall, maybe just a touch here, slowed him up. Maybe no.
On board with a 7. This will be fun.
Yeah, just got a touch there, and around he went, and there he goes. And he's over.
The timer went out. That's like real network TV type stuff right there. The camera went out. Oh. Let's go with Chad Ross. That'll be a fun camera angle on the 38 of Chad Ross. Because he's going to be like, who the hell is on top of my hood? Right.
And this will be a overtime green-white checker finish as well, folks.
Oh, it will.
So,
what's this?
oh, he almost got through it, too.
No!
Oh, that's tough. Oh, yeah, there's
man.
the truck. Yeah, there's the truck. That's not supposed to be there. Oh, no. Oh,
He's the
no.
engine, he sees the transmission, he sees the...
That's the fuel intake right there.
Yeah. Boy, that's iRacing X-rated right there.
Yikes. Yikes. But yeah, Ross just about made it through. If Lyons wasn't there on the bottom, that 38 is through there, no problem. But hit Lyons in the door, and Lyons is having an awful day here tonight. Obviously was the pole sitter, led a bunch of laps early, was dominating the race with Cofield, and caught up in the last 3 or 4 accidents. Here's a look from Cody Knott, who, yeah, just right through the grass. We've seen so many. I've seen more trucks in the grass tonight than I've ever seen in the grass in a dirt race, even. Like, dirt race at Lakeland, where you got to use the grass on the inside to get that thing hooked up when the track's wet. I mean, they don't even go in the grass as much as these guys here tonight. This is unreal.
There's Larson on pit road, what might have been for Cole. Here comes another group of trucks. They're littered. Nate Maurer, Chad Ross. Looks like Robert Richards over there. So is Owen Scrage. All these guys. Johnson, I mean, it looks like a junkyard, if you will, on the pit lane with these guys having to take time to fix their trucks so they're out of the race. Oh, and by the way, we're going to overtime. We're going to overtime, Morgan. They're going to unlimited attempts of overtime here at Daytona.
Yes. If you thought we were going to go away from Daytona without overtime, I don't know why you were kidding yourself. That's just the way these races always play out. You could have the most green Daytona race that's ever existed, and you'll still hit overtime. Every single time. And just a little bit of housekeeping. Chad Ross with the meatball. He will be the first driver 1 lap down. Kerry Chabreu is 2 laps down. Stephen Gregory still 2 laps down. As is Adam Newton. Stephen Page down 6. Joshua Suss down 14 and 33rd. Everyone else behind them is off of the racetrack.
Yeah, there's something I was just thinking about, and so did our producer Dean Hopton say the same thing, Morgan. If these guys are possibly can they go to the end, they might have to come down pit road, or not just take tires, but possibly fuel, because they might be stretching it to try to even go to overtime here.
Yeah, well, we saw the 98. Obviously, he didn't run out of fuel. He spun the tires, but we saw him on 35-lap old tires and 35 laps of a worn-down fuel tank. And, you know, we never got to see if that truck was going to fire and really run these last couple laps. And he only had to go 1 lap. These guys have to go 2 laps. So we're going to see how well they save fuel all night. Matt Cherry is going to be okay for sure on fuel. He stopped 7 laps later. But Joey Stiers, Peacock, LaBeouf, Cinnamon is a lap to the good compared to everyone else. Tiffany, Smith, Cofield's okay. But Thomas and Pappas and a lot of drivers are not great on fuel right now, and this is going to be interesting. Folks, I don't know if a lot of these drivers are going to make it back to the flag under fuel power, let alone if they're able to even get it back based on being able to finish the race. But if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, because this is going to get wild. And we see racing like this every time we're on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, so why haven't you liked already?
Coming to the line. This is it. To the line. Green flag of the air. Green, white checker overtime. Number 1 here for the opening round of the playoffs. It is Cherry, LaBeouf, Stiers, right there up the banking. In line. Remember, caution comes out before the white flag. We race again. And that almost happened. Brady LaBeouf got slung like a rag doll up against the outside safer barrier. Wow!
Now the inside, they have all the momentum they could ever want. Here comes Cofield trying to make it 3 wide. You're going to leave Cherry with no help in the middle. Now the middle, the bottom way is going to go up to the middle, try and block. Here comes Peacock to the high side.
Oh, and Morgan, remember, these guys aren't at full song yet. That's something you got to think about. That's why they're all stacked up with one another. We're
And they're
wrecking
still
in the back.
stacking up.
Trouble in the back. Trouble in 4. Caution's out. We go to overtime number 2.
Oh, let me tell you, that is exactly what Taylor Peacock did not want to see. He is one of those drivers who's on the edge on fuel. 37 laps he's gone on this tank. Can he make it another overtime? He came about 500 feet away.
Stephen Page threw the block on Andrew Harris. Harris had nowhere to go, and then he gets crashed into by Joshua Suss.
Almost saved that truck. That was just about a highlight reel save. Turns into our 11th caution of the night at overtime, at the trigger overtime attempt number 2. But yeah, he just couldn't quite clear Lucas Lyons. And bang, into the side of Suss, up into the outside wall. I don't think that truck is going to be hurt all that bad, especially for a 2-lap dash. Should be able to keep it out there, but
Do they come in? That's the question. I got to think track position's more important than coming down pit road right now.
So.
I really do. I think your bed's made, honestly. Sure. I don't think you need to come down pit road. If there's another caution, then I think they're going to have to come to the pits because there's guys stretching it. Look at this. Look at this. The fuel window here.
We estimated fuel window was 35. We saw a driver go 36 earlier. We are currently sitting 37, going to roll on to 38 for Taylor Peacock. Have not seen anyone go under green this long before. Of course, we had a few caution laps to help him out, but this is nervous times right here.
Can we see the challenge, the bracket challenge? How about Taylor Peacock? Look at the bracket. Here's a guy, Morgan, that you think about a guy like Peacock, okay? And I just want to emphasize on this. He's at the top of the list in the 5th bracket on the right. Second one on the right. He was the regular season champion, but he struggled so much over the years, just not breaking through. Besides an all-star win in the all-star race last year, it's been kind of a slim pickings season for Taylor Peacock in the past. If he wins this race, this playoff opener, Morgan in Daytona, not only is it going to propel him back to victory lane, it'll also obviously skyrocket the 81's hopes of thinking he could be a champion finally in this season.
And how many times do we see in the playoffs across all the sports, and you probably know this better than I do, Wesley, are drivers and athletes, players, whatever you want to call them, rising to the occasion and stepping up and stepping into the moment and stepping into their own stardom. Is this the moment that Taylor Peacock needed? Is this the moment that he grabs the reins and is able to get that elusive win this year and be the guy to lock himself into the next round of the playoffs in his bracket and across everybody into round number 2? Well, that's a real close-up, Dean. Nice work there. But yeah, look at those eyes. Look at that steely gaze. Focused. Not a blink in sight for driver 81. Now he's got to contend with the fuel tank. And he's got to contend with the other 27 drivers on the lead, or the other 26 drivers on the lead lap. Can he make it to the end on fuel? And can he win in the first round of the playoffs here at Daytona?
So we'll reset it here. Peacock, Cinnamon, Stiers, Pappas, Cherry. 1 to go indication being given.
If there's 2 drivers in this top 5 that I like their fuel situation, it's Pappas and it's Cherry. They have 5 more laps in the tank than the drivers around them. I like their odds of making it to the end of the race. I'm a little bit leery on everyone else. So will somebody stutter? Will somebody blink?
And we saw something like that earlier, remember?
We did.
You know?
Yeah, it was the 23 machine, as our producer, the Australian, reminds us. He had a blink, and remember, when you're blinking, you're not there at all, meaning you're not giving drafting help to anybody. So if you blink out on a restart and you're pushing somebody, that driver in front of you no longer has any drafting help, and that could stack up a line. So there's so many things going through these drivers' minds right now, but it's just the intensity's ratcheting up as we get closer and closer to what could be the final restart. Heck, we could have 12 more of these things. The limit is 15. That's the hard eye racing limit. By the way, they say unlimited, but it is actually 15. We could have 12 more of these if we really wanted to. Who knows? But this could be the last one. This is intense stuff here, Wesley.
It is, man. This is exactly why we enjoy doing what we do, why we love the world of NASRA and iRacing in general, and you love Daytona. I know a lot of people say, man, I just don't like Daytona. I love Daytona because you can be in it to win it, and it could be a nobody becoming a somebody. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps to go. Overtime number 2. FICO restart zone. Green flag. 5 miles to determine round 1 of the playoffs. Bracket challenge here in the DSR Electric 250 at the World Center of Racing. And Peacock on fumes in the lead. A push by Stiers. A push by Cherry. Cinnamon on the outside as they work into the corner.
The inside is together. The front 3 nose to tail. The 5 trying to make it 4 in a row. Nose to tail here. Remember, all these drivers might not be able to make it on fuel. This is going to be an interesting finish. Look at Bo on the outside, the 46, trying to get that thing wound all the way up. Got Smith pushing him. Oh, there goes Peacock. Peacock saved it. Still in front of the field. There he goes now.
And they're crashing. Peacock into Cinnamon, into Cofield, into Tiffany, into LaBeouf, into Lester.
Wow. And we set it up, and just like that, with one bad bump, it all goes away. And that's just the way Daytona goes. You can be so close, leading on what very well could be the final lap, and now you got to reset it again.
Unbelievable.
And here's the replay. We saw it live. It happened right up at the front of the field. 81 left the bottom a little bit. Not sure why he went so high into the corner, but kind of the same things that happened with Lucas Lyons earlier is he just kind of got hooked and steered by the 23. And the only drivers who made it through that clean were the 23 and the 54. I think everyone else caught up in the track blocker here.
And he sure did, didn't he? Wow, look at that. Wow. You know what you need to do? You need to find the 81 and find out what wrong for him and how just so many good trucks now took it out again. No, but I'm saying go on board with the 81. Taylor Cook. Watch this again here. Man, Taylor Peacock. Watch this.
Yes.
I mean, he's in his own world right now. Wow. And you know what, Morgan? It's not his fault. It is not Taylor Peacock's fault what just happened.
And that's a byproduct of just super speedway racing and the trucks is, as you see here, he left the bottom, which he might have got moved there by the 23, it looks like, but the 23 was pushing on the left rear, which you just can't do. You always push on the right rear of these trucks. The left rear will spin the guy around immediately, and we saw that right there. The moment he crossed over center and got on the left rear, the 81 went around, went for a wiggle, almost had it saved, but the 88 of Pappas got him. And you see behind him, there's 8 trucks having a soiree up against the outside retaining wall.
Wow.
Yeah, and LaBeouf's in it as well. Yeah, a lot of guys having a lot of issues here in this accident. More through the grass, naturally.
Unbelievable.
But that's the game here. That's just the way it works. It's a track blocker, as we say. That's what we call it here in the business. Is parking lot down in turn number 4. Drivers just trying to stay out of it, and unfortunately, more were in it than were able to stay out of it here in this one.
So many good drivers taken out. Look at this again, man. Wow.
Yeah, Kaufman into the door of Chu. Both drivers just trying to finish this day out. And yeah, you see, as soon as he crossed over to the left side right there, just spun him right around. And then Steyer's able to get going again because the caution happens behind him. Cherry with a little bit of a scrape to the behind the right front tire, but those two made it out. Not many other drivers did without going through the grass or without getting a little damage out of it. Yeah, we've all been there. If you've been a super speedway driver at any time, you've probably found yourself in a very similar position. A chance to go win the race, late race caution, late race restart. You might be the leader, you might have been second, you had a shot nonetheless, and it all went up in smoke. Hundreds of feet from taking the white flag, or in some cases from the checker flag. It all goes away. You gotta lock in, reset, hope the damage isn't too bad, and try and do it again. And now the spotlight switches to another driver. Now it's Joey Stiers. 43 laps on fuel for Joey Stiers. Taylor Peacock, who is still fourth, mind you. Peacock has not disappeared too far. Those two drivers, 43 laps on the tank. Cherry and Pappas, they're at the point now where I'm a little worried they're going to make it, because they're at 36 apiece. Raul Meza is at 36. Roger Diebold is at 42. You can't pit
right now. I mean, if we asked the question earlier, what's important? Track position. Track position absolutely over excels
because
what's going on
tires,
right now. Yeah,
new tires don't give you anything in this situation. They don't make you any faster. So you're not going to work through the field. If we were next week at Chicagoland and we had a caution right now, I'd be screaming to pit, because you can work through 15 cars in 2 laps at Chicagoland on new tires. You can't do it at Daytona, at least not unless you're Dale Earnhardt, which I haven't seen that recently. So he could do crazy things here, of course. But I know it's not going to happen tonight. Like, we're not going to see somebody pass 20 cars in 2 laps unless they all wreck at the finish, which of course we've all seen that happen many, many times here at Daytona. But the lights are out on the pace truck, and can these drivers make it, I think, is the biggest question. This is unbelievable stuff here. Under 3 minutes left in the session 2. I just got a message from one of the drivers. We might not be able to finish this thing in the time allotted as well.
Oh, wow.
And that means
that will be 3 of the last 4 races that have been. Wow. There is 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, thank you,
This
Lucas
might be the final chance. This might be the final chance right here. I believe it. Here they come. Nice trucks in.
All the 3's out.
Green flag.
I think Cinnamon's out of fuel. Maybe Cinnamon's out of fuel. Around he goes.
Oh, no.
From the bottom lane. We stay
Chris Cinnamon in trouble. He pits. Chris Cinnamon's in the pits. We race on into turn 1. Stiers and Cherry side by side. Peacock and Pappas. Diebold. Oh, right there. 5 trucks pulling away from everybody down the back straightaway here, Morgan.
Watch your stage 2 winner.
Oh,
Cole Henriksen. Oh, he just got turned. He's over. He's up and over.
Henriksen upside down. Caution out. This is probably going to end it, and Matt Cherry is going to win this one here in Daytona.
Oh, my goodness. I thought the 10, who had the most fuel in the top 10, was going to be able to latch onto that draft, but he got turned, went up and over.
Matt Cherry from the number 5 seed of the bracket's going to come to the line. He will see the white flag. This is it. The clock has expired in 25 seconds. Are they going to call this race? That's the question. Because the clock's about to expire.
Yeah, I see
12 seconds.
I see 2 minutes left. But regardless, I don't think that we're going to have enough time to get this thing back going again.
Where do you see 2 minutes left? The clock's at 0, brother.
I have a different software that I'm using. But yes, regardless, there's a 2-minute buffer at the end of when it hits 0 to make sure everyone gets off the racetrack. So we're now in that grace period, those extra 2 minutes. I don't think we're going to be looking at this thing refired in time. I think we are effectively rain delayed, if that's what you want to call it. A little weather playing havoc here. But Matt Cherry is loving the raindrops on the windshield right now, as it's probably going to put him in victory lane. He is.
Matt Cherry's in the lead. as we move into the finish of this one here.
Unreal.
Oh, my goodness. It says that there's 2 laps to go. The pace truck is catching the field. Do we see Barney waving the checker flag, or do we not? If we don't, I got a feeling they're going to at least give them a one. Now he's waving the caution. I think they're going to have a 1-lap shootout here. Gotcha. So there's a time to go clock, and that's what I'm looking at. That's at 0. So
Right.
you're saying there's another 2-minute grace period after that.
And mine just hit 0 as well. Now flip back to 2 minutes. We're at 1:57 at the moment. And
Oh, it reset?
It seemed to, yeah, and dropping rather quickly. It might reset every time we complete a lap. I'm not exactly sure here what's going on, but regardless, we are playing with the weather at the moment, and I'm not sure what this looks like, because you got to remember too, like Cherry can make it pacing, but Tyler Peacock, Joey Stiers, they've been out for 46 laps here. Can they make it under pace laps any longer?
Very true. Oh, here's a look at what happened there. Watch Cole Henriksen in the 10, up and over. Watch this again, 3 wide into Lumpkin. That's Raw Meza. Somehow Richard scampers by, then he turns back into the pack.
Oh, he caught that wall hard.
Oh, wow. Hogan nowhere to go. Shrek nowhere to go.
Oh.
Meza nowhere to go.
Yeah, go right, or have a look at the start of that from Meza's on board. I'm curious to see, because it seems like that's where it started. Is there was a bit of a bobble and a wobble? I think Peacock's out of gas. Maybe not. Maybe I think he's just clutching it. In fact,
Watch this again.
Bad block attempt by the 37 off the nose of the 971, and that triggered this, and then back up front of the field for the. Oh my goodness! Yeah, big.
That was Cherry into Richards from Meza into the wall. And my goodness. All right, what's the verdict here? What are they going to do? I got a feeling they're probably going to get 1 lap. If they do get this race going again, I think they'll have a 1-lap shootout.
I think we are going to get back racing here, going green. But can we make it on fuel now is the question. We got a lot of drivers with meatballs as well. Colton Hogan got a meatball.
Lights off. Lights off for the pace truck.
Robert Richards.
So, I'm thinking 1 lap. I'm thinking 1 lap, honestly. I'm being honest. 1 lap is all they're going to get. Brandon Broadfoot, to answer your question, Jacob Reeves is off with work because of real work obligations. He's not able to be with us tonight. So the Friday night color analyst, Morgan Cook, is joining yours truly in the booth. And Morgan, it's been a pleasure working with you, buddy. Fun times.
You bet. You as well.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
And we're ready to decide what's going to happen here in this.
Let me tell you, this has had everything. I mean, this is a classic Daytona race, right? No idea at any point what was going to happen in this one. We saw a couple big ones. We've seen stage winners have problems. We've seen drivers go up and over. We've seen fuel mileage. We've seen, possibly the session going to end at any moment.
You're right.
Multiple overtimes. Like, we have no idea how this is going to shake out. 13th caution here of the night. We're working right now. Matt Cherry is your leader. Remember, we might not make it back on fuel. All these drivers, with the exception of Nathan Maurer and Andrew Harris, up in your top 10. Lucas Lyons as well, who's back up to 10th. Everyone else has 40 laps on the tank. Those guys all have under 10. So they can make it. Can Matt Cherry make it? Can Taylor Peacock make it? Diebold, Stiers. Yeah. What's going to happen here? This is crazy stuff. In the late
and how about Matt Cherry missing that accident? I mean, he could have got caught up in that wreck just a moment ago, and somehow, some way, he found a way to weasel through and find daylight. Peacock as well, man. Don't count out Taylor Peacock. This guy is hungry. How about Roger Diebold looking for his second career NASCAR win after winning about 3 weeks ago, his first ever victory? As they come to the line, here they come. I got a feeling this is it. They're probably going to get 1 lap only. 1 lap to decide it here at Daytona. Cherry over Stiers as they work back into turn number 1. I believe they got 1 lap, and this race is done here. Here we go, Morgan.
And once again, the inside gets a great jump. There's only 3 drivers on the high side trying to keep it going. I think a lot ran out of fuel there on that start. We see the pack. They are the spread apart trucks in the outside wall. We stay green for the moment. The outside line has gotten back together. Stiers. Here we go. Stiers and Cherry. Cherry got forced up off the bottom by Pappas. He's going to continue to push him. We're 3 wide, a little bit further back.
Look at Maurer. Maurer tries to get something going to the outside lane. This is Pappas. The way these guys are driving one another, you think they're coming to the checkered flag. Matt Cherry. Here comes Stiers. Side by side. Get your camera ready. Maurer's in the wall. It's Joey Stiers to win. Joey Stiers in a photo finish over Matt Cherry. And they're rocking behind them. I had a feeling it was going to be one lap. I had a feeling it was going to be a one-lap shootout. Wow.
Unreal. Unbelievable finish. Joey Stiers, Matt Cherry, Taylor Peacock, your top 3 at the start-finish line. The gap between those 3, how about 0.06 of a second? How about that, folks? That's about the nose to the middle of the door on one of these trucks. We're going to see it right here.
Unbelievable.
Cherry goes up to try and take the side draft away. Can't quite do it. That's the difference.
Unbelievable. Watch this again. We'll rewind it just a little bit. Here it is, frame by frame, coming to the line. Watch this. Half a car length. Stiers over Cherry. Unbelievable. Morgan and Dean are going to carry you guys the rest of the way. I'm actually a little bit late from my other iRacing. I didn't want to leave this one, Morgan. I wanted to stay till the end.
It was a fun one. Not enough fuel to even do a burnout for Joey Stiers. We'll catch you next time. Wesley, appreciate you being on the call here with me.
Bye, buddy. See ya.
Obligation, and we'll catch you next time. Joey Stiers, not enough fuel to do a burnout. Park at the start-finish line, man. You earned this. Holy cow. 27 thousandths of a second is the margin of victory here tonight over Matt Cherry. I don't have much more to say than that. That is unbelievable. Let's go through your finishing order here. Joey Stiers, you're going to get the win. Matt Cherry in P2 here tonight. Taylor Peacock finishes in the 3rd position. Phil Pappas and Roger Diebold round out your top 5. Stephen Thomas in 6th. Lucas Lyons, how about that rebound up into 7th? That truck was destroyed a number of times here tonight. Andrew Harris in 8th. J.D. Larson in the 9th spot. And Nate Maurer in 10th. Jeffrey Johnson, Owen Scrange, James Kaufman, Jonathan Cofield, and Cody Knott round out your top 15. Cole Larson, Tom Lester, Brady LaBeouf. That is 16th, 17th, and 18th. 19th here this evening is going to be Raul Meza. 20th to be Cole Hendrickson, the Stage 2 winner. Chris Cinnamon ran out of fuel on one of those restarts. He finishes in 21st. Luke Smith, 22nd. Colton Hogan in 23rd. Brian Chu will finish 24th here tonight. Jesse Lumpkin in 25th. Kerry Trebu will finish 26th. Stephen Gregory, tough night for the 61 in 27th. Robert Richards, 28th. He is a lap down. Adam Newton, 29th. Bo Tiffany finishes 30th. Stephen Page, 31st. Joshua Susk in 32nd. Chad Ross, 33rd. Dane Hagen, 34th. Lee Bailey, the 3rd, 35th. Tyler Goodwin is 36th. 37th for Craig Schroeder. And rounding out your field is Keith Haney in the 38th position. And that's your running order. That's how they wrapped up here this evening. My goodness, what a race. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Dean, I haven't been around for too many of these. Is it time to bring drivers up here and have a little bit of a chit-chat? Let's bring them in.
I'm glad you didn't get torn up.
All right, we're also glad you didn't get torn up. That was a phenomenal finish. And here with your top 3 finishers, I'm Morgan up here in the Nazareth 360 racing booth. You got Dean Hopton up here as well. Let's start off with Taylor Peacock. We were rooting you on, buddy. We really thought that you were going to be the one to get it with the tight fuel at the end. You were leading, and then there was the incident, leading in front of the 23, and you left the bottom a little bit, got turned, somehow kept it in 4th. After that, how do you reset? How do you go back here and finish in the 3rd spot here tonight?
Oh man, I don't know. That was a crazy. I'd have to go back and watch some of that because I don't even know what happened. It was just hectic all around between watching fuel and getting turned and then still saving it. It was just hard racing, people pushing. It's just how it is with these tracks. I was lucky I was able to catch it and able to still have a chance for the win at the end, and was able to push Joey to the front. So that was cool. At least if I didn't win, I wanted to push somebody to the win. So that's always good.
Well, mission accomplished. And how close was it on fuel? We saw, looks like 48 laps is what you ran, which was tied with Steyer's for by far the longest of the day. Did you have enough to make it back to pit road?
No, I ran out. As soon as we took the finish line, and I don't know, maybe not even 100 yards after the finish line, I ran out. So I was lucky that was the last start.
We'll
I think Joey was in the same boat, I believe.
Yes, he was. And we'll talk to him here in just a second. But while we got you up here, third place finish, definitely going to help you out in the bracket challenge here that we have for the playoffs. But why don't you take a moment to thank everyone who's helped you get to this point and celebrate this third place finish?
Yeah, I think my teammates, Cinnamon pushed me hard there on the very top side to get me. After I got second in the stage, we lost some track position because they took the points. Cinnamon was able to get me back to the front. He pushed awesome. Thank you guys for broadcasting. I can't wait to go back and watch. I guess this is my first time doing an interview with you, Morgan. So I'm not sure how new you are, but welcome.
First time I've been in this series,
okay,
so yeah, pretty new.
Welcome here.
You bet.
I'll be looking forward to go back and watch. And thanks to Brady for putting this on. And I will see you guys next week. Hopefully do 3 interviews in a row.
Hey, that's the dream. Congratulations, Taylor. That is your third place finisher here tonight. You can see him going to extend his lead. I think he got the most points today out of everyone in the field. 2 seconds in the stages. Is that right, Taylor? Did you get second in both stages?
Second and fourth? I don't even remember.
Regardless,
it was such a crazy race. it was a good race.
Anyway,
thank you guys.
You bet. Up to second place finisher here, Matt Cherry. And Matt, it was about as close as you can get. The margin of victory is 27 thousandths of a second. You were on the bottom. You got the great launch, but the high side had too much momentum. Anything you could have done differently besides walling the 23?
No, I should have took the top. I knew the top was going to be the winning line of the race, and I chose the bottom because Taylor he had some front end damage, and I just didn't know. I didn't know how well he would be able to be out front, and coming there to the line. I did a little bit of a hard side draft to Joey there. I was trying to kill his momentum coming to the line, it didn't work, but I'll take a second any day at a super speedway.
Yeah, your truck was kind of all over the race here tonight. You spent some time in the back, spent some time at the front, obviously. You're up in the front when it mattered. How difficult is it to position yourself in such a way that you have a shot at one of these wins in the final 10, 15 laps, especially with all the overtimes that we went through here tonight?
Oh, most definitely. We qualified horrible. I think we started like 26th. And, if it wasn't for Jonathan Cofield, I got to give a big shout out to him for helping me get to the front there. We was all the way back in like 23rd, and we started at third lane, and we drove all the way up to second, and then that caution came out, and I kept my track position because it was important, because it was almost impossible to pass 3 wide. I just got lucky, and we made our way to the front.
Yeah, and that we watched that 54 rip the high line and pass. Yeah, like you said, 20-some cars getting all the way up there and was able to hold it once you got there. And you were a little bit better on fuel than your 2 counterparts here up in the podium. Did you make it back to pit road, or did you run out of fuel?
No, I was about a half a lap to the good. If I'd have won, I'd have probably had about 15 seconds to do a burnout. That'd been about it.
Unreal how close it was on fuel here tonight. Well, we're going to ask you the same question that we asked Taylor Peacock. Who do you have to shout out and thank, and who helped you get here to finish second in this race at Daytona and really help you out in the playoff bracket?
I got to give a big shout out to Brady. I typically run on Fridays, and he brought me over here on the Monday series with him, and we've got 2 wins this season so far. I probably should have had a couple more, but things didn't work out like they did. But you can't win them all. So, but yeah, big shout out to him for inviting me over here to run. I enjoyed racing here. It's probably one of the best leagues out there to run.
Right on. Well, that's your second place finisher here tonight, Matt Cherry. In a fun one, in a thriller, came home just a little bit short, but great points night nonetheless for the 54 machine. That leaves us with the top step of the podium, Joey Stiers. My goodness, man. You made this one interesting. You started right behind Matt Cherry here on the restart, and you were able to get around him on this final lap. How'd you plan it? How'd you do it? And what brought you home here in first place?
I think him taking the bottom line really helped me out there, because it seems like when my truck was on the outside on every restart, I just couldn't get the momentum quite timed up. But him being the leader on the bottom, that gave me a little bit of an opportunity to kind of get connected with him early, and then us just take off on the restart. And that really benefited us, at least kind of getting away from the field there at the initial start. And then at least me having a chance to make an attempt to go on the outside of Peacock and Cherry there. I mean, I still can't believe that after all the carnage and everything in this race, I always come up short on these restrictor plate races. And doesn't matter if I'm in second place, first place, leading with 2 to go, something always happens. So right there, I was just kind of waiting for it, just kind of expecting to get wrecked. But what an awesome, clean finish there at the end. A little bump by Cherry coming to the line, no harm, no foul. I would have done the same thing, but we got really lucky tonight. And I mean, there's some skill to it, but I mean, luck is 90% of it. So we'll take definitely the little advantage here going into the playoffs and racing my teammates. We got a pretty bad draw for my bracket with 2 of my teammates in there. So now this kind of takes a little pressure off them now that I got the win, so they can kind of race it out between themselves. So yeah, it's a good night overall. Still can't believe it.
Yeah, unbelievable finish here. I mean, great work with getting this win, and we're just watching this move back. We saw the move off of turn number 2, and off of turn 4, you are about a truck length behind Cherry, but the push comes from Peacock and gets you enough to get there to the finish. And I know you didn't have enough to make it to the pit road with the fuel the way that it was, as that truck was swerving, trying to get anything to do a burnout. I mean, how nerve-wracking is it? And this is kind of a question for both you, Joey and Matt. How nerve-wracking is it knowing that you are so close on fuel, but you can't pit because in that moment that you might be able to make it on fuel, if you pit, you give it all away. So how difficult is it to be able to stay up there and just trust that there's enough fuel in the tank?
Well, for me on that restart there, I was really nervous because it was showing 2 to green, or two laps left in the race when we took the restart there, and I only had enough for 1 lap. And we a couple weeks back at Pocono, we had the same thing happen. It was just a 1 lap shootout. So we kind of were talking in my Discord that it was just going to be a 1 lap shootout instead of 2 laps. So right there, it was kind of hectic because it did show 2 laps to go, and I knew for sure I didn't have enough, and I was barely lucky enough to make it back to the checkered there. I ran out on after the race concluded there. I ran out coming off 2 and had to coast all the way around the track. So yeah, I was pretty nervous on fuel there at the end.
Well, it all worked out here for the 23 machine. Why don't you take a moment here to thank whoever helped you get to this moment throughout this race or outside of this race, whoever helped you get to the number 1 position here tonight. Go ahead, the floor's yours.
Yeah, I want to thank Jeff Sickles and Dan Gobble for everything they do. If it wasn't for them too, I wouldn't be in this league right now. They done a lot to sponsor and support us drivers over at Swim and Chrome, and I got to thank all my Chrome teammates as well. We fought through the adversity tonight with most of them, so we'll rebound next week. But yeah, if it wasn't for Dan and Jeff, I definitely wouldn't be racing in this series with Dan bringing on DSR Electric for the truck series, having them. I'd also like to thank Millie's Restaurant and Catering from Daytona Beach Shores, A's Lawn and Landscaping, the family handyman, Justin Lumpkin, who actually paints all our trucks. So big special shout out to him. Jack's Mowing and more, Darren's Nail and Gun Repair, Brady and the team at Nazareth, and everybody in the Nazareth 360 booth for putting on the broadcast for us. I love going back and watching these races every week. it gives me something to do throughout the week, and I just love all the commentary and all the backstories I didn't know while I was racing. So it's really good to see all that, and I would really like to thank my wife Brianna and my stepson Reese for allowing me to race on Monday nights, and got a little one coming here in August, and I'd like to dedicate this one to her. So this one's for you, little London. Can't wait to meet you.
Congratulations, and a big congratulations for what's on the horizon there in August. That's very special. But congratulations, Joey, for your win here at Daytona, locking yourself into the next round. That'll definitely boost the spirits a little bit. But that's the show here, folks. What a phenomenal race at Daytona for the first race of the playoffs. You see the bracket up on your screen. Ton of drivers how going to move around all around this bracket. Steyer's obviously locking himself in. Cherry had a great day, got a lot of points. So did Peacock, got a lot of points as well. And some drivers maybe on the not so favorable side of the way this thing went down. You know, Jonathan Suss had a pretty bad day here today, among others. Cody Knott did not have a great day either. But stay tuned here the next couple weeks. We got Chicagoland next week, Michigan after that to settle round number 1 on the hunt for a champion. Playoffs started here tonight, and they roar into Chicagoland next week. Don't miss a moment. Same time, same place here on the NASR 360 Racing Network. Once again, congratulations to Joey Steyers, Matt Cherry, and Taylor Peacock, your top 3. See you next time here on the NASR 360 Racing Network for the DSR Electric Truck Series.